Yay.
Just the crazy show that you need to make sense of these times.
I can't even fake the enthusiasm. I can't do it.
Why?
I'm just not good at that. I'm not good at being wildly happy.
We're in the asylum, and for the next 3 hours, you guys are locked in.
Yeah. Crazy times today.
Thank God the TEF box is not going to let the inmates run the asylum. Is that right, Travis?
Woof woof.
I was on Twitter last night.
What?
It's so funny how people are really stupid. Like, you can't say anything without people just jumping on you.
Were they getting nuts?
No, they weren't getting that. They're getting stupid.
Twitter's not the asylum because you can't. There's no phones allowed in the asylum.
You want to get stupid?
Come on, let's get stupid. No, before you come in the asylum, we take everybody's phones and shoelaces, so you can't tweet in the asylum. But you get out of the asylum, you start tweeting.
Yeah, they get stupid,
and that's where let's go stupid, let's go dumb.
All I said was on Twitter that speech was not Trump's best moment. I didn't think it was a particularly good speech. I wasn't the content of what he said. I just thought that he was all over the place, and he seemed like he was frazzled.
It was one of the worst.
It was a bad speech.
It's one of the worst press conferences a president has ever had.
And these babies, who I don't care if you're a Trump supporter, that's fine, but don't be such fucking babies. Yeah, but what, the media? Yeah, but I know.
That's what we were talking.
I just said he didn't look good, frazzled like that. He opens up, and he literally was reminding me of Captain Queeg at the end of fucking the Kane Mutiny. Oh, I was strong. Oh, he was like, please, excuse me, no. And he's repeating himself.
Reprimanding reporters.
He looked frazzled, regardless of what he was saying. He just didn't, he looked like he was completely thrown into the middle of a party. He sounded like he was trying to be heard over a DJ. So I said it wasn't a good press.
No.
It wasn't a good press conference for that reason.
Hey, you fake news over there. Fake news over there.
And then I even say to someone, because of course a lot of the babies who think, I love these people who think they're alphas.
Right.
Like, hey, Snowfoot, really? You're the one fucking sniveling over a minor criticism of a guy's performance as the president.
Will you call a snowflake?
No, but a couple of them are like, hey, it's just these guys that use this fucking fake lingo. That they think they know what it means, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
you're such a cuck.
Yeah, well, that's actually accurate. But I'm like, Jesus Christ, what douchebag. You can't even criticize the performance of the guy in a press conference without fucking hearing shit.
That's what we were talking about yesterday.
Holy shit. Babies.
You have to be, as a Trump supporter, you have to be able to point out when it's like, oh, what's he doing? You know what I mean?
You're as bad as everyone you criticized.
Yeah.
As a supporter of anyone.
Right. Yeah, you'd think, because part of the Trump movement is that politicians are dirty and not to just blindly follow these politicians because they're lying to you and this and that. And it's gotten weird because Trump has put himself in a position where all these people who are against blindly following politicians will not criticize and are against any criticism of
yes.
our great, perfect leader.
We get it, Obama. I know. I heard you. And I agree with you. Like, the fucking media does stink. And what Trump said wasn't necessarily wrong either. The fucking Daily News sucks dick. He didn't say that the white supremacists were very fine people. I watched he didn't say that. Mm-hmm. He was saying that there were fine people the night before protesting who were just normal citizens who didn't want the statue taken down.
He's saying they weren't all white supremacists.
Before the white supremacists and the Nazis. He did not say that.
Right.
They literally are just lying when they say shit like that,
But
too.
he was also being hostile with the press and not clarifying himself. Like, he said, well, no, they weren't all white supremacists and Nazis. Some of them were fine people. And you could hear, the press in the press conference going, well, they said they were all white nationalists. And he didn't take a second to say, no, let me clarify. Let me communicate with you. Let me be the president here.
He's not good at clarifying and that type of stuff. And they stink. Can you watch this? I want to watch from the beginning, just for a couple of, not even a couple, just a little bit of the beginning of the press conference. He was just frazzled.
And he seemed in the press conference genuinely upset.
Yeah.
That the statement that he made on Saturday wasn't enough. He seemed, to me, and maybe I'm placing, value on stuff that isn't there, but he seemed like he was upset that he had to make his Monday statement, that somebody made him go on Monday and specifically name Nazis and white supremacists. And he was because he doubled down on what he said on Saturday.
He should have named them, though. He was wrong to not name them.
Very wrong.
But they did come after those. A lot of those people were giving their shitheads, and they were having a peaceful protest. And if you're having a peaceful protest and people come at you with clubs, and then they blame your side for the protest, I get what he was saying. I mean, that happens all the time at Klan rallies. People are violent against the Klan, which is fine. I don't have any problem with that. I don't like the Klan, so fuck them.
Right, but that's the other thing. Like, I feel like you can't point out that Nazis are bad without somebody being like, well, what? Does that mean Antifa's good? And you go, what? No. Huh? Of course not. Like, violence in protests is bad for the country. It's a bad thing. There is the argument, which you could make, that Nazi imagery is violent by nature, but you can't start... That's that slope that we were talking about. Like, if there is no actual violence being done, then whether you agree with them or not, people do have a right to protest.
Yeah, if you're just protesting, look, man, if you're just saying, like, we're white nationalists, like, I think your opinion stinks.
Right.
I think it's shitty, but go ahead. What do I care? Do it. You're allowed to do it. And if people come after you with sticks, then they're attacking you.
But then the real problem is, though, that somebody died. Yes,
and that was and it's funny. He should call that an act of terrorism because he would if it was somebody else.
He called the Times Square thing an act of terrorism.
Right, that's what I'm saying. He would.
Exactly. Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah, he called the Times Square thing an act of terrorism way before any of these. He didn't need 5 days,
right?
Before he called the Times Square thing an act of terrorism. Like that, he should call that an act of terrorism. And there's a thing that you have to do though, when you're the president, right, and you see that Americans are all seeing all this Nazi imagery and these terrible slogans. Vice. Did you watch the Vice thing that they put out? So Vice was on the scene.
I watched it this morning.
Yeah.
Insane.
Vice was on the scene. I can't believe the access that they had. Vice had a reporter with the white nationalists in Charlottesville and a camera person. And there were a lot of them. They weren't bluffing. There were 150 or more of these white nationalists that had come together from all parts of the country. Some guys were coming from Canada and driving in. People drove 12 hours. It was a big assembly of these people, and they were absolutely marching down the street, saying things about Jews and marching and yelling these white supremacist slogans and making it clear that they were against all minorities and blacks and Jews and everyone.
Yeah, those guys are just assholes. They're just fucking assholes.
Right, but so when you see all this, right, and when this is out there, the president, part of the thing is that you have to just relax people a little bit. You know what I mean? People are supposed to look at the president as a leader. That's what Obama should have done. That's why I thought, and a lot of people thought, that he was so soft on terrorists, because you'd have a terrorist attack and he wouldn't say what it was, and it would drive people crazy because they're like, we see what's going on. We see it, and you won't call it what it is, and we feel like we're not being represented, we're not being led, and the right targets are not being targeted. And it's the same thing here. In this specific instance, because there's been plenty of talk about Antifa, and you do have to talk about Antifa, and you should keep talking about Antifa, and anybody that thinks it's American to have violence in protests, even if it's something you don't agree with, or even if you think it's fascism. I understand fascism is not American, but a bunch of, young people waving communist flags, I'm not trusting them to you tell me what's fascism, and you can be violent against it for me. Yeah, I'll trust you on that. No problem. Call it out. But when you've got Charlottesville going on, the president has got to just go up there and be like, hey, everybody, Nazis are bad. And that's it. Just say that. Just let that be the thing.
Yeah, he's really not good at, he's just not good. He's not good at comforting people when you need calm. He stinks at it. And there's someone I want to play the beginning of this press conference. But this guy is saying he's sick of the negative about Trump. It's amazing. Hello, Scott in Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's not that hard, so giggle all you want. The reason why you're getting such a strong backlash whenever you say anything when Trump acts like a blithering idiot is because of the simple fact that that's all it is negative, negative, negative. Well, you said he was going to do this. You said, Sam just did it the other day. Dude hasn't even been a president for a year. The differences of way things are being treated as far as, Black Lives Matter movement, Black Power, Black everything else, Obama didn't come out and condemn any of that.
What's that got to do with Trump right now? Like, I know what you're saying. What's that got to do?
Though, but because
all right, I'm letting you finish.
Now Trump doesn't go after the way he absolutely should have. And I agree with you. I'm just saying the reason why you're getting such backlash is because the people that do support him are tired of hearing all the negative constantly about him in the main media.
Do you think that
it's not that fucking hard to understand?
Oh, yeah, but this is kind of. Do you really think that the fucking Black Lives Matter, who I guess they're a newer? Do you really think they have the same history as the Klan and the Nazis?
No, but Black Power does.
No, they don't.
No, it doesn't.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Come on now.
I'm not saying
they had
that,
just as much.
I'm not saying they have.
I mean, they did it.
No, they didn't.
They don't, dude.
What these fucking idiots were doing down in Charlottesville is good. I'm not at all. It's a two-part thing. What I was talking about is anytime you say anything negative about the president now, because of all the negativity that the left and the mainstream media has done, people are going to get
well, then how about being big boys and girls? All right, dude. How about separating people? How about separating people? I've said that he's doing good with certain things. I agree with what he said about a lot of the blame does go on both sides because it was not just a bunch of Nazis attacking people. They were being attacked too. There were people behaving violently there. All right, fine. But that doesn't mean that you can't criticize his behavior in a press conference and these fucking babies get mad at you. It's just exhausting.
For sure.
Right,
No, I agree. I'm just saying that the only reason why people get irritated about it is because that's why you can't say nothing now because it went so far to one side, and then if you say something, you get a bunch of backlash on Twitter, which you should be able to. I don't give a shit.
I don't care. I don't really care what the back. Honestly, I don't care. I'm just making the point that just these guys that think they're these alphas are just fucking little babies who don't want their guy criticized. All right, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
And I mean, and it's a good point about Obama, but I mean, we said it yesterday. To criticize Obama about being light on Black Lives Matter and then letting Trump off the hook for being light on the Nazis is about as hypocritical as you can be, right?
Yeah, but I don't even look at Black Lives Matters in the same thing as the Nazis.
It's not even close.
The Nazis bring something out of people. They have a long history of being really cunts.
Black Lives Matter is like the majority of the Black Lives Matter group is non-violent. Like, there's a sect of Black Lives Matter that has become violent in protest. But the message of Black Lives Matter isn't necessarily violent. Like, they're not sitting there and going like, yeah, let's get all the white people out of here. Let's kill white people. They're less than us. They don't matter. Let's get them the fuck out of here. It's not Black Lives Matter and nobody else does.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch that Vice show from last night, you could easily just take, the comments of 3 or 4 white nationalists and be like, all white people are terrible.
Yes, exactly. And that's what it would be. It would be like doing
like that guy from the Daily Stormer in the van.
Exactly. Like doing
Was he a good guy?
Nope.
Doing what people do to Black Lives Matter in terms of just saying like this is a violent terrorist organization would be like if you take one of these Daily Stormer guys, which some people do, and it's wrong. If you take one of these guys who really doesn't represent himself well, but also says he's a supporter of Trump.
Unless he thinks that he is representing himself well.
I think he does.
Yeah, he seemed to be, really down with the cause.
But it'd be like if you said, those are Trump supporters. All Trump supporters are that guy, and they're violent, and they're Nazis.
And people do that.
People definitely do that. But that's wrong.
Yeah.
And so any Trump supporter that then does the same thing to Black Lives Matter people is out of their mind.
And it's also that this knee-jerk reaction now to criticism on both sides is always, oh yeah, well what about what about Obama?
It's what about
you're not even listening to the argument being made about a specific thing. It's just, well, what about your side?
Which is why it's so frustrating to watch Trump
kids do.
Not be it's what children do. And Trump can't address the fact that people who support him, not all the people who support him, but just this group of Nazis and white supremacists who support him did a terrible, ugly thing over the weekend. And for right now, for this incident, that's exactly what should be addressed. There's no reason to bring up the fact that, well, and you got to protect these statues, and there's evil on all sides, and there's sometimes you just have to say Nazis are super shitty. And I wish there were none in America.
Yeah, he just doesn't handle this. Let's watch the beginning of this press conference. It's just his demeanor that I was criticizing. He's just not looking presidential.
He's not.
And they're like, yeah, but wouldn't you? Yes, I would. I would be annoyed, but I'm not the fucking president.
Jim, like, I love you, and I think you're a great co-host. You're a great radio personality and a great comedian.
You said average wrong.
You would be a
great,
terrible president.
No, I wouldn't.
I would hate it if you were the president.
When I was a boy?
I would not vote for you.
Yes, you would.
No, I would not.
Yeah,
and I would actively...
Just to have access to me.
Oh, you're right. That would be great.
Just have access to the president?
If my buddy was the president, I would actually, you're right, I would campaign for you.
Yeah. I'd be a very good president.
You think so?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you would do when you got
No
there?
homework.
Sorry, teach. Homework is illegal.
No jobs. You just watch the beginning of this. It's really bad.
No jobs.
I did not like you. I didn't wait long. I didn't wait long. I didn't wait long. I wanted to make sure, unlike most politicians, that what I said was correct, not make a quick statement. The statement I made on Saturday, the first statement, was a fine statement. But you don't make statements that direct unless you know the facts. It takes a little while to get the facts. You still don't know the facts. And it's a very, very important process to me. And it's a very important statement. So I don't want to go quickly and just make a statement for the sake of making a political statement. I want to know the facts.
Right, so right now, great. So far, great.
Well,
it was a fine statement. It's not the best thing, but he's going off the cuff.
It was a fine statement. It's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
It's very, very contentious with the press. And this thing of like, well, I wanted to make sure I had all the facts before I spoke. It's not exactly what Donald Trump is known for.
No, it's not. But I mean, but in this moment, I'm okay with this so far. It was a fine. You shouldn't quote your own statement as it was a fine statement. That's not good. But so far, I'm okay with this.
It's been universally criticized. And he's like, well, here's the thing about the critics. They were wrong. Statement was actually a fine statement.
He wants to have clarity. I don't mind him wanting to have clarity before he speaks about this. Okay.
Yeah, but it was pretty clear cut. I mean, even his wife put out a statement hours before he did.
His daughter did too.
Like, it wasn't something that you needed the facts for.
Also, his wife's statement and his daughter's statement were both better than his.
Much better.
Much better.
I think he wanted to know who started the violence. That's my guess. Before he said it, he wanted to know, were these guys marching peacefully and then getting attacked? I think that's what he wanted to know. That's my guess.
I get that, but there is this prevailing theory that a United States president is pretty safe when he goes, no matter what the consequence, Nazis never have a place in America. You probably are going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you say that.
Agreed.
Go back to my. In fact, I brought it.
This is where he reminded me of Captain Queeg.
He's got his statement with him?
They said there was a key, and there was how many portions did you? And he's like looking at the paper. This is where he kind of started unraveling when he pulls the paper out.
He probably tucked a statement in his pocket going like, wait till they get a load of me.
Dude, you're not going to have that moment. I'm saying dude to the president.
Yeah.
You're not going to have that moment where everyone goes, oh my God, he's right. Like what he's unraveling, because this is what happens on Twitter. This is why a lot of times I have like sometimes like when you try to avoid arguments on Twitter because it just spirals, and there's never going to be that moment where they all read what you said and all get it, and you get frustrated and angry, and that's what what's happening to him.
I had to delete a tweet last night because I tweeted out, I think I said something like, and it was kind of just like, I mean, it was just an observation, but I felt it was a universal thing that I said, maybe I'm brainwashed. I said something to the effect of, maybe I'm brainwashed, but I think the president should have a bigger problem with Nazis than the media, which I think is okay to say.
That's a fair statement,
right.
Yeah.
And so I started getting all these like things about like Antifa and stuff like that. And so I sent out another tweet that said, I think Antifa's un-American. And they said Antifa are the real Nazis. So I sent out another tweet. I go, I think Antifa is awful and un-American, but Nazis are still the real Nazis.
Yeah.
Not Antifa. And it just got, because those two tweets existed, everything got so convoluted and confused. I had some people being like, you know, you're a cuck. I had other people being like, you support Nazis. I had some people thinking that I meant that Antifa is worse than Nazis. So I deleted the Antifa tweet.
It's not even worth it.
I deleted the Antifa tweet entirely and just let my original statement of, I think Nazis are worse than the media. That's my Twitter statement. Good night, everybody. Good night.
I don't mind that when they start, like, sometimes everyone starts unraveling and fighting with each other. And then I respond once or twice if there's something, and then I just leave it. Like, go ahead.
And then
fucking yell at each other. Yeah, I don't care. Get mad.
But there were people. Even my statement of I think Nazis are worse than the media. Not everybody agreed with me on that.
No,
which is, I mean, a little, I don't know, short-sighted.
But watch him unravel a bit. How can anyone think that this looks good for the president? Come on.
He's right.
I brought it.
What did you bring?
As I said on, remember this Saturday.
By the way, he's got his hand up. He's got his hand up like a school, like a grade school teacher that goes, when my hand is up, it's quiet. Hand goes up. You guys be quiet when the hand's up.
He just wants to say that one thing that everyone goes, my God, you're right.
He loves good news. He wants universal acceptance. Have you heard about his good news folders?
No.
You heard about that, right? Yeah. Twice a day, he has delivered good news folders where people, I think at like 8:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., something like that. He has delivered a folder at each of those times, and the folder is printouts of good things people are reporting about him.
And photos where he looks good.
And photos where he looks good and presidential. Like he gets his good news folders twice a day. And there's no bad news folders. It's just...
And I 100% believe that.
Is that
and I don't believe that he asked for it. I believe that his staff probably said, like, hey, we have to do something because he's going nuts. Let's give him a lot of good news every day.
Is that possibly because, and again, just play devil's advocate, is that possibly because he's not getting any good coverage? Some of it's justified, and a lot of it's not justified. Like, they're not saying anything good that he's doing. So is it possible that he's like, once in a while, like, all right, you're not you do... The stock market is doing great. There are new jobs coming. Like, we have to show some things that he's doing right because the press just won't talk about it.
Fox and Friends is still being very nice to him.
I'm sure
there's still some coverage. Like, he can find shows. Even some of the people on Fox, though, after this one. Like, I was watching The Specialist last night.
With Kat, right?
Kat Tim. Yeah. She was great last night. But she was like, I can't even believe this is real life anymore.
You know what's funny? When I first watched this, and I tweeted, it wasn't his best moment. What I was going to tweet was, looks like something out of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a parody of a guy playing a president falling apart. And again, it's a hard job. I mean, you're not a politician. It's a very difficult job, and you're the focal point of everyone's anger. You're the last, the buck stops here. You're the guy. So I don't think he's handling that particularly well.
And by the way, I watched that movie Idiocracy recently, finally, because everybody compares this to Idiocracy. This isn't that much like Idiocracy. Everybody just tries to say that to sound like smart and like they watch movies. This is kind of different than that. I watched it. I get that the president there was stupid, and Donald Trump comes off as stupid, but this isn't that much like Idiocracy.
I never saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a Mike Judge movie, so obviously it's good, and it's funny that the world just degenerates into big fat guys that can't even talk, but this isn't quite that.
Well, watch this for a minute. Again, the press is being very abrasive too, but he's just not handling them well.
No, he's not.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry, and violence. It has no place in America. And then I went on from there. Now, here's the thing. Excuse me. Take it nice and easy.
Like that.
Take it nice and easy.
Not that face. That's not good.
Yeah. When the reporters are like, so the reporters are probably going to ask, well, Donald, in that statement, when you say that, it sounds like you think that prejudice against racial groups is bad, but also prejudice against Nazis are bad, and maybe prejudice against Nazis isn't that bad, or something to that effect. But before they can get the question out, he makes this face like, "Hey, asshole, why don't you just pipe down?" And then he puts his hand up and he goes, "Take it nice and easy, Like, it's just so dismissive and condescending, and like, I'm the president and you guys are a bunch of rats. You're the fake news."
Yeah, all right.
Here's the thing. When I make a statement, I like to be correct. I want the facts. This event just happened. In fact, a lot of the event didn't even happen yet as we were speaking. This event just happened. Before I make a statement, I need the facts. So I don't want to rush into a statement. So making the statement when I made it was excellent. In fact, the young woman who here is a fantastic young woman, and it was on NBC, her mother wrote me and said, through, I guess, Twitter, social media, the nicest things, and I very much appreciated that. I hear she was a fine...
I mean,
The woman is a nice woman. He's not even saying she's dead.
No, he is a nice woman.
I heard she was, and he's off the cuff. He's trying to be genuine. You know, you give a little break because he's not. You know, this is not what his wheelhouse is. All right.
Yeah, the saying is instead of was, and
no big deal.
That's fine, no big deal. But saying it was an excellent statement and then citing the fact that the dead girl's mom thinks you're great is like a little little distasteful.
Yeah.
That's not quite honoring her.
You shouldn't use her death to segue into a compliment for yourself.
I wish he'd expand his vocabulary a little bit.
Like just use different words sometimes.
Use different words. There's words that are a little more appropriate.
He knows all the positive words though. Like excellent,
fine,
great, fine, but not like fine, like, oh, it's fine. Like fine, like that is a fine speech, like a fine linen. That's how he's describing his speech, like a fine linen.
Yeah.
Really, actually, an incredible young woman. But her mother on Twitter thanked me for what I said. And honestly, if the press were not fake and if it was honest, the press would have said what I said was very nice. But unlike you and unlike...
So the thinking here is that here's my statement. If you like it, you're simply reporting the news. If you don't like
You're
it,
fake.
you are fake.
Yeah.
And you are liars.
How can anybody, even if you like the guy, think this is a good moment? You can't think this is a good moment. I'm not even saying that what he's saying is 100% wrong. It's not. Some of the stuff he says in this, and he does not call white supremacists fine people. That's a lie. The Daily News blatantly lied by saying that. He does not say that.
He doesn't say that. No, that's true.
They're liars, and he's right that they're liars. But just as his demeanor is...
I mean, he said that they were fine people on both sides.
No. But what he was clarifying, he was trying really hard. He was saying that before the Nazis, and he separated them from the white supremacists. He was saying that there were people who just didn't want those statues taken down because it's a part of their culture, a part of whatever he was saying.
Yeah, he was saying
there were some fine people.
There were people who were protesting the statue being taken down that were not white supremacists or Nazis.
Yeah, he separated them.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
He said the night before it was a quieter protest. They just didn't want these statues taken down. I'm just
the night before was 100% white supremacist.
It was. I saw the Vice thing, and
yeah.
To be fair to Trump, and I'm not this sort. There were lots of Nazis the night before.
I'm sure there were.
I don't know if it was 100%, but all the people.
Pretty sure it was a Nazi march.
Yeah, it was a lot of Nazis.
I honestly don't know, but his intention
when they're
wasn't
chanting "blood and soil," which is like a reworking of a Nazi phrase.
Well, what'd they say about the Jews?
That they will not take over.
Jew will not take over. Right?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, maybe. Well, then that's bad. But but in his statement,
by the way, what you just did just now was more presidential than Donald Trump. Like we were like, well, it was Nazis talking about Jews, and you were like, oh, okay, that's pretty bad. Like that, he hasn't gotten there yet.
But he wasn't trying to call Nazis or white supremacists fine people. He purposely separated them. And he also was saying about the people, the alt-left that came, or whatever you want to call them, the left, that there were some fine people there, meaning that they were not all violent counter-protesters. A lot of them just came to counter-protest. He was trying to say there were some regular people just doing this because they believe it, and I'm not talking about them.
Right. Yeah, he's not wrong.
No, he's not. But they said that he's saying white supremacists are fine people, and he just wasn't. They're fucking liars.
He wasn't eloquent with how he said it.
Exactly.
You were a little more eloquent just now.
Well, I told you I'd be a good president.
Better.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
so.
good.
I think so. You do. You do have a charming way about you. And
I make excellent statements. That girl who got run over,
yeah,
her mom liked my tweet.
Plus, whenever you get in trouble, you can just make a cheeky boy face. And
I
go
would.
like, I didn't know.
I didn't know.
But you'd say like this, I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I'm sorry.
And they go, oh, if he isn't the cutest president we've ever had, God damn it, President Jimmy.
He's just unraveling a bit. It's fun to watch and it's sad to watch at the same time. Like, I don't know how I feel. There's moments where I love it because like it is fun to be alive. Like we're never going to see this again.
Here's when I'm watching it alone, I'm in the middle of like laughing and being like, oh my God, what is happening? When I'm watching it with like you or like people that I enjoy watching stuff with, I have a better time with it. Then it's funner to start picking it apart. And
he, his problem is he literally, if he just communicated better.
Yeah.
He would be 50% better in the eyes of everybody if he just communicated, but nothing to do with his ideals, nothing to do with his policies. If he just communicated better.
Ronald Reagan had very controversial
Oh my god,
policies.
dude, he wanted to call fucking ketchup a vegetable in school lunches.
Yeah, but then he'd get up in front of that microphone and you'd be like, Ronnie, yeah, you got it. You know what? When you think about it, ketchup is a vegetable. You're right.
Yeah, can you picture him talking to the like being this rattled by the press?
I mean, anybody that doesn't think ketchup is a vegetable is fake. It's like, what are you talking about, Don?
Yeah, he wouldn't. He just handled it better.
Yeah.
But listen a little more.
You think, though, with trial and error at this point, how far he's into his presidency, he'd be like, you know what, that didn't work. Let me try this way.
That's why he likes his good news folders.
Can't help himself.
He likes the people that are like, no, that's working. And there's a lot of people that are saying it's not working, but those people are fake.
Like, none of this was planned. His aide said, like, they had no idea he was going to do this.
I read that.
He just decided to do it.
This was all off the cuff.
Yeah.
Can't help himself.
The White House people were like, that was all him. We talked to him before the thing, but that's not what we talked about. We didn't talk about any of this. I don't know what he's doing anymore.
Excuse me. Unlike you and unlike the media, before I make a statement, I like to know the facts. They don't. They don't.
Here's Andrew Anglin.
How about a couple of infrastructure questions?
How about a couple of infrastructure questions? He's like, let's move on from all this Charlottesville talk. I did not come to New York City to talk about Charlottesville. Let's talk about these highways, huh?
Yeah, look, we know about the Nazis and the girl being run over, but who wants to know about the GW bridge? Come on, nobody wants to ask about that.
Have we seen? Did we not get through the winter and far less potholes, huh? On a local level, are we not doing great? I think the infrastructure is a fine infrastructure.
And I think we're pretty fair to him and pretty fair to the other side. And still, no matter what you say, people think that you're making a sweeping indictment that's 100% one. You can't say anything without people thinking you're this or you're that, and that's the end of it.
Right. There's no middle ground.
So in a way, which is what I've always liked about him, he's a great representative of kind of what we are. He's all over the place. He's fucking. He says this, then he says that. He's constantly. He's frazzled. He's a great representative for America.
I do, and I do think that the people that are going, there is no alt left. Like, there's nothing named the alt left, but you know what he's talking about. And there is. Maybe it's not quite as vocal on social media as the alt right, but I've seen it in protests. I mean, when he got inaugurated, there was violence. Like, that I would consider the alt left. There is a violent extreme left.
Berkeley was repulsive.
Yes.
They were repulsive.
And the people who don't acknowledge that at all, I feel like they don't even realize that they're the same as Trump. Like, it's the same. Either end of the spectrum is exactly the same.
Like, the Nazis are easy. Yeah, we know that. I think the Nazis are shitty. I think they're fucking.
Do?
Yeah, like the fucking their whole mentality, the whole white power mentality, the whole white nationalism thing. It annoys me. I've heard what they've said.
I can get behind you,
and
as
I
a
reject
president.
it. You know what I mean? I don't need them silenced. I heard it, and I think it stinks.
You reject white supremacy?
Yeah.
I can get behind you then as a candidate for presidency.
But like, I'm a big boy. I heard it, and I think it stinks.
Right.
I think it's a shitty idea, and I think it's ugly, and it's bigoted, and it just doesn't make sense to me.
Right.
I don't know. I kind of give everyone else the same credit too. Go ahead, hear the message. Go listen to it. If you think that dumb shit is accurate, follow it.
I agree with you on that. About the bigoted stuff.
Do you think people were as blinded by Obama as they are for Trump too?
No.
Anytime, because Obama could never do any wrong either.
People who loved Obama loved him the way Trump people love him, but Obama was just kind of delivering things a little better.
Yeah, of course.
Like, even when they were criticizing him, he didn't react frazzled. If Trump handled it that way, he would have so much more respect from people, and it'd be so much harder to come after him. But it's fun to get him riled up. Like, you couldn't get Obama riled up.
And Obama was like as bad as any other president. I would put Obama right there with every other president we've ever had. Like, there's that thing. And I could see blindly following any other president we've ever had because he works for the Democrats, he works for the Republicans, that's the American president, blah, blah, blah. There's now a lunatic who's arguing with the press because of Nazis. Like, and so when that guy, the problem is, like, the blind following that's going on now is going on the extreme sides of each thing. Whereas Obama, Obama's not on the extreme end of the spectrum.
Trump just doesn't know how to fucking he doesn't know how to just kind of go like, all right, let me just take a second here.
Yeah.
Like, I wish he did. And I'm doing stuff on my act, and I'm not doing my act now, but like about, it's not only.
Do a little of it.
It's not.
I like it.
What is it when you're checked in? But it's not only when he's being controversial. Like even when he was trying to do the Manchester statements, he just doesn't say the right thing. And he called them evil loser. Like he means well sometimes. He's just not a great communicator.
Oh yeah, when he called the terrorists, I'm not even going to call them monsters. I'm going to call them losers because that's what they are. And then on like Holocaust Remembrance Day, he didn't even say anything about Jewish people specifically.
Yeah, like there's times where it's okay to be specific.
Well, a lot of people suffered.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
On Holocaust Remembrance, it just, understand, guys, like, I'm not agreeing with it, but just, everybody needs to understand that this is going to look bad. When a president on Holocaust Remembrance Day goes, a lot of people suffered, right? Then, when there's a terrorist attack, he goes, that's definitely Muslim extremism. Then when there's Nazis marching and killing somebody, he goes, there's evil on a lot of sides. Like, take the Holocaust thing and the Nazi thing and understand that some people may get a certain idea about this guy. Accurate or not, that's where those statements lead.
And I don't think people are being too hard on him. It's just that he makes it so easy.
Yeah, of course. I don't think they're being too hard on him at all.
And one guy, now this guy, I have to go to Francis real quick because he's been on hold for a while.
Hi, Pee-wee.
Francis on the island. Hello, Francis.
Hey, boys, let's move on to an important story. I'm pretty sure the call screeners at Covino and Rich have a whole list of all of Jim's scandals. I called in as Lyle, got hung up on promptly. I was only able to get in as Todd from New York and talked about blueberries being a standalone fruit. They had no clue what I was talking about. Did some radio hack thing like, oh, who blew berry? Fucking repulsive. I'll try a little harder today, boys.
All right. You called it as Fez. It's very funny.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love that the mutants, the mutants are active.
It's just so silly.
It's so funny.
So silly.
The guy that did the Edgar call found me on Instagram, and he was so proud of himself.
He should have been.
Yeah,
I mean, what a silly goof.
Somebody called in to Nick DiPaolo as Edgar last night, too. I didn't hear that call.
You know what? As far as I'm concerned, I love Nick. Honestly, I like every show on the channel. Call into all of them. Call into every single one. It's just funny.
I laugh so hard when I see on Twitter Edgar called into and I see a show.
Look, I'll say this. I don't want to encourage anybody's show getting disrupted. But if you tweet me a call of you doing one of the characters on somebody else's radio show on this channel, we'll play it on the air. I don't want to encourage it, but we'll play all of them on the air.
Just another second of this. I'm enjoying this.
Let's hear this.
What?
CEO of Walmart said you missed a critical opportunity to help bring the country together. Did you?
Not at all. I think the country, look, you take a look. I've created over 1 million jobs since I'm president. The country is booming. The stock market is setting records.
He's
we have
right
the
about
highest employment numbers we've ever had in the history of our country.
Wow.
We're doing record business. We have the highest levels of enthusiasm. So the head of
What does that
Walmart,
mean?
who
I'm guessing economically and looking forward.
Because his approval rating's in the garbage.
But all this stuff he's saying about creating jobs, that's great stuff. He makes a good point later. I'm not going to watch the whole thing about how racial problems, wait till people have jobs, how much less they'll be. He's a little wrong about it and he's a little right, but people do want good jobs and good paying jobs, and he is bringing them back. I mean, and he's not getting any credit for that.
If there wasn't this undercurrent of Nazism and white supremacy, and then also, I guess, Antifa and all that stuff, if that undercurrent wasn't there, then he'd be right. Like,
He's just got to address the other stuff better.
Right. When there are jobs, racial issues become less of a big deal.
Do you think they affect his enthusiasm ratings?
That's not a thing. I don't know what he's talking about.
He just said it, though.
Enthusiasm ratings. His approval rating is low.
Yeah, but what's his enthusiasm rating?
That's not a thing. I saw it in the good news folder. My enthusiasm rating now enthusiasm is positive and negative, right? So does that just mean like a lot of people are tweeting about him? Because that is true.
Yeah.
My enthusiasm. I love that. Like, it's never enough. Like,
it always goes unchecked, too.
It's never enough. He can never just say jobs are better and the stock market is great. Because those are things that numerically you can check him on. Jobs are better, stock market is great. But 2 isn't enough. You have to have another thing.
Rule of 3.
Right. So he goes, also enthusiasm is through the roof.
For what?
It's like a kid who's trying to fill the amount of words that you need for a college paper.
It's like a kid trying to justify reasons why his bedtime should be later. Because, number one, we'll get to spend more time together as a family. Number two, I'll get to wind down more after dinner. And number three, I'll be more tired with less sleep. And you're like, wait, what was that third one?
That wasn't good.
Yeah.
Watch more?
Yeah.
A little bit, I think
I know, who's a very nice guy, was making a political statement. I mean, ask him how he's doing. I do it the same way, and you know why? Because I want to make sure, when I make a statement, that the statement is correct. And there was no way of making a correct statement that early. I had to see the facts, unlike a lot of reporters. Nazis were there. I didn't know David Duke was there. I wanted to see the facts. And the facts, as they started coming out, were very well stated. In fact, everybody said his statement was beautiful. If he would have made it sooner, that would have been good. I couldn't have made it sooner because I didn't know
Are they
all
talking
of the
about
facts.
the one he made yesterday?
No. They're talking about. He's talking about his original one.
Saturdays. They're all talking about Saturdays.
Wait, I thought he was talking about No, I think he's talking about when he condemned Nazis.
But nobody else is talking about that.
Okay, yeah, no, he's talking about when he condemned the Nazis.
He's just making that up then. Because nobody asked him about the Monday statement. Everybody's like, the statement you made where you did not say this. And he was like, yeah, it's beautiful, but I should have come quicker. Now he's talking about Monday statement, but nobody else is.
They're talking about Saturday.
Yeah, they are. They are.
Frankly, people still don't know all of the facts. It was very important. Excuse me. It was very important to me to get the facts out and correctly. Because if I would have made a fast statement, and the first statement was made without knowing much other than what we were seeing. The second statement was made after with knowledge, with great knowledge. There's still things, there's still things that people don't know. I want to make
like
a
it? He
statement.
said great knowledge.
It's so much I like it.
It's so funny. Like, it's almost this little dig, like, I know you press think that you have a lot of knowledge. I have actually great knowledge.
With great knowledge.
Yeah, we did it with knowledge. With great knowledge.
He loves descriptives.
One of my favorite things, by the way, is how much he's talking about when he makes a statement. He likes to know the facts. And then after this press conference, he claims that he has one of the largest wineries in the country.
Oh, cool.
In Charlottesville.
Perfect.
It's not even one of the largest in the state.
What? Well, is the state known for specifically large wineries then?
I mean, they have larger wineries than his.
Oh, shit.
He doesn't have the largest winery?
No, but
he said he did, though?
Yeah, you can't just say that after saying, when I make a statement, I want to know the facts.
He's giving a little incorrect information. That's not his. That's not on Trump. That's not on him. Somebody, they slipped him the wrong paper in the good news folder.
You're saying he didn't have great knowledge?
He did not have great knowledge. Because that information was in the 8:30 a.m. good news folder. It was not corrected until the 4:30 p.m. Good News Folder update.
Now, somebody has a comment for both of us. Ralph in San Diego. This is also important stuff. Yes, Ralph.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Hello.
There's a couple of podcasters out there that are kind of taking some bits from you guys. They got an intern that, blows dudes. They got another guy that works for them named Bratwurst. And they also use a lot of the quotes from this show, like... when you and Dan Soder were using the impressions, they always use the cup of coffee bit. It's that fat-ass Conrad Thompson and Bruce Pritchard and Tony Schiavone.
I don't think the Bratwurst. Who are they?
Conrad and Bruce are both friends of mine, and they do not steal bits from us.
Yeah, but we got a guy named Bratwurst.
They don't have an intern at all.
All right, thanks, Ralph.
But yeah.
Look, this is all rumor and innuendo, and I do not deal in rumor and innuendo.
All right, Ralph.
Well, Yeah, no, Conrad and Bruce Pritchard do a very, very successful wrestling podcast. Bruce Pritchard worked for WWE for a long time, so they give like all these amazing inside stories of specific things. And I've known them for quite a while now.
So why are they stealing our stuff?
I'm going to listen more closely.
Who's Bratwurst?
Maybe I've missed the episode. I've never heard them reference an intern. It's just a guy and another guy podcasting. So I don't know that there's an intern involved, but I will look up. Matter of fact, maybe I'll Maybe I'll text Bruce right now and find out what the deal with this bratwurst character is.
Why don't we just get our bratwurst on the case?
Bratwurst! Hot dog is a little smaller than bratwurst, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Slight of frame.
He is.
Why has he been so happy lately? Is he on medication?
Hot dog?
Yeah.
I don't know. He works overnights now and then comes in after that, so he might just be delirious from being up all night.
Yeah, he's always saying, hello, Jim. But I'm like, what are you, fucking stoned?
He went from not talking at all and just like being like, okay. Yeah,
has he been dating anyone? Is he getting laid?
No.
Oh, no, I thought that might be it. Maybe he's getting his prick sucked.
Not that I know of. We've been working on him, trying to get him laid, and he's been striking out. I saw on his Instagram he was hanging out with some girl all weekend, and there were a bunch of funny pictures and videos and stuff that he was doing with her. And I was like, oh, good. Hopefully he laid that pipe. And then he told me yesterday that he had to delete all those pictures because she's engaged, and her fiance didn't like that she looked like a mess on his Instagram, which led me to believe that he did not get laid.
He put up pictures with some engaged girl up and had to take them down because of her fucking fiance.
Her fiance thought she looked, and she did kind of look like a mess, but
like a mess how?
Well, she was just like, obviously they were hanging out all night. You know, she was just they were drinking, they were having a good time, whatever. But she didn't look put together, you know. I'd be like, if Jess were taking Instagrams on some dude's Instagram and she were all fucked up and hanging out with him all night listening to reggaeton, I'd be like, Jess, I don't need you going to reggaeton parties when I'm not around.
Some people are mad that we're talking about this still. Like, what do you want us to talk? It's the biggest story in the country. How do we not talk about it?
I mean, we would not be doing our jobs if we didn't talk about it.
And then if you don't talk about it, people are, why are they talking about the biggest story in the country?
Of course. What are they talking about? Dicks instead of the biggest story in the country?
Yeah, what are you guys afraid to talk about it? What do you guys, people want their own perfect show. It's like, just do a podcast then.
Yeah, you could do your own show.
Yeah.
I like that somebody, though, my favorite, scroll up a little bit, somebody tweeted the enthusiasm meter, just a little, yeah. They said the enthusiasm meter is just like when you're at a sports game and they go, let's get loud, and they find out like, no, you could do better than that, and then the meters go up.
Right.
That's the enthusiasm meter.
Yes.
I think it's cool.
I do too.
First president, Donald Trump's going to come out on his next press conference with one of those hats that has hands on the front of it, and when you pull the string, it applauds. Because he's like, look at all this enthusiasm. This is my enthusiasm hat. What do you see there?
Private Chip.
Chip is a Nazi. Somebody drew a picture of Chip as a Nazi. It looks like I believe that's from the Diary of Anne Frank.
And they just put Chip's face.
Chip is in there. They added Chip's face to a Nazi,
really
and
well
it says in a quote, "Tus," and then Private Chip raised his beady eyes to the ceiling, and then it says it's got a picture of Chip in a Nazi uniform with his Chip face, of course. He's got his hand is cupping his ear, and his finger is pointing up, and it says, "Tus, there's a Jew in the attic," or something.
Or something. It looks like Chip.
Chip as a Nazi. Chip probably would join the Nazis. He'd probably think it was cool. He'd have a tiki torch and his dumb gut hanging out of his stupid polo that's tucked into his khakis.
Oh, God.
It's so funny.
Yeah, we're trying to mix it up. It's hard to not address it a little bit.
You have to address it.
It's big. It's a big story, and if we don't, people...
I want to address it.
Yeah, I know. I go back and forth like I do, but there's like... Ugh.
Some stuff, I don't want to address every little thing, but stuff like this I would like to address. I think that we do a talk show that's live every day. We should be talking about our opinions on what's going on in the news.
Yeah, it's silly to not address it at all. Some people just want, I don't know what they want. So I'm sorry we can't give every one of you what you want at every moment.
I think most people want.
Because if you don't talk about it, people do get mad at you. They're like, you're afraid to talk about it?
Well, yeah, and even if everybody got mad at me, I'd probably still talk about it because you'd be crazy not to talk about it. Everybody's talking about it.
You can't.
I want to give you my hot takes. You know, I got hot takes. I got to hand them out. Hot dog, why are you so happy lately? Y'all hopped up on Goofball or something? He's just nodding.
What can you talk?
He just made a noise.
Wait, why are you
I get real tired. It kind of.
I thought it was that.
What happened with the girl?
Well, I was telling that's the universal radio hand for gesture for headphones. He just looked like he was squeezing two
testicles
or testicle.
Yes, what's up?
I told Jim that you were hanging out with a girl over the weekend, and I thought you might have gotten to lay the pipe. But then you told me that you had to delete the Instagrams because her fiance got mad because she looked like a mess. And then it led me to believe that you had not gotten to lay the pipe because she's engaged.
No, I tried, though.
Did you know she was engaged?
Yeah.
And how close did you get?
People at the party told me that I got pretty close, but yeah.
Did you make out with her?
We were close to making out, but like one of my friends cock-blocked, apparently. I don't know.
How did he cock-block?
Oh, it's a she. She like got in between or something like that.
Which friend?
What do you mean you don't know? You act like you weren't there. You were right there. It was your lips.
Were y'all fucked up?
Yeah, I was fucked up.
Oh, okay.
What were you listening to? Reggaeton?
Reggaeton and Despacito.
Despacito.
That is a good song. I like the original better. You know that it's got
so does Hot Dog.
Yeah, 3 billion views on YouTube. It's amazing.
It's the most streamed song in the history of Spotify.
It's amazing.
So
the video is pretty hot too. That's in Puerto Rico?
I don't know.
Like San Juan. I think both of those guys. I love the fucking rapper in that. He's like 40. He looks younger.
Daddy Yankee?
Daddy Yankee. I love that guy.
You like Daddy Yankee?
Daddy.
Oh, is it Daddy Yankee?
Daddy Yankee.
I really, really enjoy that that video. I watched it a few times.
It's a big song. So, so you were almost making out with this engaged girl, and then some other girl gets in between you guys?
Yeah, I was trying to take her home or something like that, and I definitely remember trying to take her home, and then
you don't remember the girl cock blocking you?
No, I remember that, but my friends told me she definitely was. But like we were like kind of like fighting, kind of getting in our faces, and
was it the slutty girl that you hang out with?
Yes.
He hangs out.
Did she give you any puss?
She gave me head once.
Okay, how was it?
It's great.
Where'd you blow your load?
It's great. What town?
Did you paint her teeth?
No, and
just you and her, huh?
No.
What do you mean?
She blew me and my friend.
Fair enough. Who
At
first?
the same time?
Same time.
Okay. So why isn't she still blowing you?
It just gets too awkward if you make it a pattern.
What's awkward about getting blown? How is that ever awkward?
You know what? You would be a good president.
Yeah, how is that awkward? It's not awkward. Thank you.
Well, because she's friends with everybody. Like she's.
Oh no, I'd hate that.
She's like it is 100%. Hot Dog hangs out with the group of kids from It. She's the girl who just blows everybody to make them feel better. Just all the losers hang out together, and Hot Dog's one of them.
He's still working in the library after 27 years.
Yeah.
So she sucked your dick once, and she pretty?
She's cute.
She's not bad. I saw her.
Would you date her
on Insta?
No, she's blowing like everybody.
Would you marry her? I should say. So you wouldn't let her suck your dick again?
Yeah, I would. If like
you'd allow it, but you wouldn't pursue it.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Why was she cock blocking you?
I guess she knew she was engaged, so maybe she just didn't want her to get in trouble. I don't know.
Oh, it was her friend?
Yeah, we're all friends.
Yeah, but do you know what the cock blocker's habits are? She's blowing you and your friend at the same time, and she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't want her to do anything she would regret."
Yeah.
What's going on, Hot Dog? What happened to the cute girl that you brought over to Jim's?
Oh yeah,
It was a couple.
I stopped talking to her.
Why?
I went on a dinner with her that was really expensive, and I didn't get any. So
okay, wait. How close did you get?
I forgot to tell you. I don't know if I told you this before. Hot Dog gets pissed when he has to pay a lot of money for food.
Yeah, no, I knew
Remember
that.
he broke
was
up with his girlfriend?
Yeah.
I understand that.
He's a cheapskate.
Yeah, but would you break up with your girlfriend of many months if you had no other options? If the shrimp appetizer was too expensive?
I mean, he wasn't getting laid, was he?
Did you get the kiss?
He's not getting laid anyway.
Did you get the kiss her, Hot Dog?
I kissed her like on the cheek.
Yeah. So no, the answer is no.
I kissed Troy on the cheek.
Yeah, you took her out to dinner.
Right, it was restaurant week, and I thought the whole deal with restaurant week was it's $40.
Oh God!
It wasn't $40.
How much was it?
Like 180.
Whoa, that's a huge.
That's
difference.
a big dinner.
Yeah.
Where'd you take her?
Yeah.
Well, she picked a spot. It was like a Peruvian place downtown.
Did she know you wanted this to be a date?
I told her.
Which girl was it?
Didn't you specifically say, "I'd like to get like some puss"?
I think I told you guys she wanted to go to a more expensive place, and I said unless we're like dating or this is going somewhere, I'm not going to take you there.
You got to learn to, you're like Trump, phrase things better. So yeah, I would like to eventually, but I want to try this place first. You don't put it in black and white like that. You don't make them think like, oh, this guy will only do this if I'm fucking him.
Yeah, do you have a guarantee that you'll suck my dick? Because otherwise we are not going there.
Yeah, you got to phrase it
But
better.
there are girls that will just completely take advantage of the situation and ride it out as long as they possibly can.
You're talking about two extreme. This is the same thing as Trump.
He doesn't know that.
You're talking about two extremes. It's not either they're going to milk you for everything you've got or they're going to agree to suck your dick after dinner. Like, there is a nice middle ground where most women exist.
Yeah. But, I mean, we personally know girls that have done this to guys.
Who?
I mean, nobody I'm going to say on the air.
Well, then I don't know.
I know.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
I mean, I figured I'd just be honest about it. I wasn't going to take her to, like, spend $600 out of.
Why don't you find a girl you could take? There's an Applebee's in Times Square. Eating good in the neighborhood. Find a girl you could take to an Applebee's. It's great food. I love it. And then, you know, that way if you don't get laid, it's $30 out of your pocket. Not that big of a deal.
All right, I should lower my standards a bit.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing going to $180 Peruvian restaurant.
Did you get any vibes from her at all?
No, that's why I just stopped talking to her.
I think she'd just like to dangle the carrot in front of his face.
Probably.
You're trying to grab that dangled carrot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, so you struck out horribly.
But, like, you bring her to, like, a celebrity's apartment, then you bring her to a $180 dinner. That's fucked. That sucks.
Yeah.
You took her to dinner after that?
Yeah. And then she while we were walking home, she was like, yeah, like, because we were talking about something, I forgot. And she was like, yeah, I don't really like having sex unless I'm deep in a relationship. And I was like, yeah.
You know what that means, right?
Well, a lot of girls are like that.
She was just saying that to me just to kind of give me the vibe.
I bet there are other guys she'd have sex with.
Yeah, or maybe she's like that. Women want to. A lot of times they want to save face and say shit like that.
Yeah, I don't like to be in. I don't like to have sex unless I'm in a relationship. So you can kiss me on the cheek. Whoa, honey, I think there's a couple other steps we can discuss.
Maybe she wanted to know that you would be willing to take it a little further.
I'm not.
All right, but you can't be that blunt about it. Then you're not going to get laid.
I'm not.
You can't be that blunt.
You also can't start at $180 restaurants if you're trying to get somebody to date. You can't start at $180 restaurants because you can't stop going to $180 restaurants.
No, it's going to be $180 until the tab came. I thought it was $40. It was restaurant week.
You're the only person I know that doesn't understand the way prices work. Like, it says on the menu how much things cost, right?
She told me 40, and I saw.
Oh, okay. Well,
apparently it was 40 per per the entree, and then for the main course,
$40 per dish.
Yeah,
and then you ordered however many dishes.
Right, and like I ordered this small thing. It wasn't shrimp this time, but it was like I forgot what it was, like some type of seafood, and it was like fucking like $25.
Were you disappointed in the price of that?
Yeah.
What was it? What kind of tip did you leave?
Like $20
on 180.
Is that good?
No, it's fucking horrible.
It stinks.
That's like a 10% tip.
I'm not a good tipper.
No,
You're
obviously not.
No.
Why?
He doesn't like to. He doesn't even like to.
I don't believe in it.
He doesn't even like to pay for food.
You don't believe in it?
No. I told Sam before. Sometimes I'll tip the Chinese people when I order Chinese food, but not all the time. I don't want to get them used to it.
That's crazy. People are handling your food. You should be a good tipper if you want people to handle your food properly. If you're seeing them consistently,
You got to tip delivery guys. I mean, delivery guys know that though. So a pizza guy by me, he tried a trick, and I knew what he was doing. He came to my door, he dropped off the pizza, and he was like, "Hey, didn't I see you in the shop the other day?" Like, as in, like, I know who you are. Before I gave him the tip, and I was like, "I know what you're doing." Like, you know that I frequent the establishment, you know. But I gave him my standard. I give delivery guys $3 tips.
Oh my god!
I'll give him like $1 maybe.
It's not New York City.
You're so stingy, dude.
How much you give?
Isn't that terrible?
How much you give a pizza guy?
How much is the?
It's a pizza.
It's like probably $20. You probably give him like
at least $5.
At least $5.
So
$3 tip.
Take it out of
Sam's stingy.
Take it out of
hot dog.
Yeah,
take
it's
it out
terrible
of,
quality.
It's not a terrible.
It
quality.
is.
Take it out of New York City. Rent's cheaper, tips are less. Food is less expensive.
Yeah, but you should still. It's a guy. You just tip. You're in show business.
$3 every time.
Terrible.
On one pizza.
That's excessive.
You think $3 is a lot every time?
Like 2 maybe.
If they're good.
Yeah,
I see.
The next pizza, you're gonna get pubes on it.
I get pizza all the time. There's never been a pube on it, and they get it there promptly. They say hello to me when I go in the restaurant. Nobody's like, "Oh, there's Mr. $3 tip."
You don't think people fuck with your food?
No.
I don't know if they fuck with the food, but it's still a gross tip. That's terrible.
$3 is gross, but $5 is great.
It's the principle of it. It's almost like a $20 tip. $5 is 25%. It's more the idea you get the guy $5 for the drop off or whatever it is. There is a difference, and there's the 3 singles. It's not the $2 that's the difference.
I write it on the receipt. Credit card.
Okay, yeah. Oh, if you're writing it, they $5.
Right.
I always when I order Grubhub, they have an option. I always go a little bit above the 20% option on the tip. Always.
You do that too, Hot Dog?
They have a 10% too. They have an option for that.
They do. That's just gross. Bad
It's
tip
there
is
for a reason.
That's a terrible quality.
I always tip 20% in a restaurant.
Yeah. Hot dog, that's a terrible quality.
You always tip your waiter 20%. You always tip him something, but like delivery, $3 pizza place right down the street.
Doesn't matter. He's still delivering.
Plus, I do it like once a week.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why you should do it a little bit better.
So $2 a week?
And don't think people don't fuck
Where'd
with your food.
$2 come from? $3. I've watched him make
No,
it.
I'm saying an extra $2 a week.
Oh.
How do you watch them make it if you're at home?
Because I eat there too.
Yeah, you don't think the delivery driver can pull the pizza out and fuck with the pizza?
What do you think they're doing?
Dude,
to the
I
pizza?
worked in food. I know how that shit works.
Okay, so what would you do to fuck with the pizza that I would never be able to tell?
I would probably save my jizz and jizz on your pizza.
I would notice on a cheese pizza if there was jizz.
You would
Yes, I
never know it.
I worked at Burger King. People definitely fuck with your food.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would notice there was jizz on a pizza.
I had a manager.
Sure,
who
would you
used
be
to-
mad that it wasn't on your face?
I ordered this on the side.
Yeah, why is Sam yelling Lucky Pizza?
Hello. Last time I ordered a pizza and there was jizz on it. I didn't see any this time. Is there? Did you get a new chef or something?
Well, did you write it in the comments?
Yeah, there was something. My spice that I like on my pizza wasn't there this time. If you know what I mean.
When there was regular assholes that came into the place that I worked, I would fuck with their food.
What would you do?
Well, the one guy, the lasagna that I would make would never be hot enough.
Right.
So this is back in the day when I had pubes.
You don't have no pubes no more?
No, I shave them off.
Good for you.
But I would rip out a clump of pubes and I'd put it in the lasagna and put some sauce on it and then send it back through the oven.
Yeah.
And I'd send it out to him and I'd watch that asshole eat it.
Road trip.
He would eat your cooked pubes?
Yep.
And you'd watch him?
Yeah.
Did you ever get satisfied watching him?
Very much so.
Did you giggle? Or were you just like, yeah, fuck him?
Like, fuck you, asshole.
And then you'd also laugh.
Yeah, of course.
That's great.
And then I'd tell all the friends what I did.
Yeah.
You know, when I delivered newspapers, this was not a food job, but I was shittier to the people that didn't tip me properly. Like, you'd throw their paper, you wouldn't take as good a care of them. You just don't after a while, especially if it's a regular.
Yeah. What did you do, Travis?
I never did anything, but I had a manager who would hear somebody's voice on the drive-through, and he would recognize this specific person, and he would fuck with their food. He would when he'd be making a hamburger, he'd put soap on it. He'd throw it on the he'd throw it on the floor. He would be an asshole, but this guy kept coming back. So like you don't know.
Was the guy an asshole who he was doing it to?
I don't know what personally he didn't like about this guy. he was also.
It was just the one guy.
My manager, he was awesome if you were like a teenager working at Burger King, but you know he probably had a lot of angst that he was a manager.
How old was he?
He was in his 30s.
All right, so
he wasn't happy.
He's not the happiest.
No, I mean you don't want to be a manager at Burger King when you're that old.
I'm very respectful. If I have to send something back, I'm very respectful about it.
Yeah, I rarely do it, and I'm.
No, I don't. They're not gonna fuck with your food if they prepare it and you want it done a different way. I mean, as long as you're not a cunt about
And
it.
be polite about it.
Yeah. It's also so much different now. Like all of these like restaurants are becoming like open kitchen. Like you can go into a Wendy's and you can see everything that they're doing.
Right.
But yeah, you can't be stingy with the tips. $3 is not good.
Yeah, $3 is not good.
You're not helping. You live in
Staten Island.
Yeah, that's pretty much suburban prices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't help my argument.
No, 25%.
Because with them, I could be like, yeah, you fucking New York City guys, you're not living in the real world. Then Travis is like, yeah, $5 isn't good.
But even if it's in New
$3
York City, it's a percentage, not a flat fee.
For delivery?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give $5 for a pizza.
Of course. At minimum.
Yeah.
What's the maximum?
$20 pizza?
I wouldn't give a $10 tip for 20.
No, but I mean, like if you gave $7.
That's crazy.
Fuck out of here.
No, if they're
that must
bringing
be
it
some
to
of that DJ money.
That's their job.
If they're bringing it to you, yeah, but you want them to be cool. You don't want them to be like, oh, this fucking asshole again. He's giving me $3 tips. Let me do something with his food.
Troy's got that Despacito money.
I'm not going to tip my Uber driver today because he was too by the book.
Do you tip Uber drivers?
You can now in the app, and once in a while I will. Like the guy yesterday was an animal. He literally almost drove on the sidewalk. 5 stars, $5 tip. He cared about me getting here.
You loved it.
Yep, today's guy, 3.
$3 or 3 stars?
3 stars.
See, that's way worse than a tip.
Yeah, why 3 stars?
Giving only a few stars on Uber is much worse than not giving a tip because you're actually going to cost somebody their job.
No, I'm not going to get him fired. I just didn't. I was not.
That's how people lose their jobs on Uber.
Too bad. Then how about you don't treat the yellow like it's a cement truck parked in front of the road and slam on the brakes?
So because he was obeying traffic laws, you're giving him 3 stars?
He was but he just didn't give a fuck. Like he was driving slow and like puttering along, zero enthusiasm to get Daddy to where he had to go.
Oh, his enthusiasm rating was low?
Oh, yeah, very low enthusiasm rating. I love that illustration.
Yeah.
Somebody illustrated a naked chef. By the way, they don't make my pizzas naked. You know, it's a pizzeria. People would notice.
You can't reach your hand down your pants? You can't go in the bathroom?
You can.
Yep.
So you think they go into the bathroom, get the pubes, have their handful of pubes, walk out, and then do they put it on the pizza before or after?
Dude, who knows what they do, man? They could take the...
Well, what would you do?
Well, when I was cooking it, I would just reach down and grab pubes and pull them out.
But it's a pizzeria, so it's like a register. It's open. So how would you get the pubes on the pizza?
You could turn your back, act like you're scratching yourself, or walk. Say you're going into the refrigerator.
Like you think that it's a good?
You don't think they have a refrigerator you can walk into?
No, they do have a back room.
Yeah, go in the walk-in fridge.
So you would go in the back, pull your pubes out, hold them, and then at what point in the process would you put the pubes on?
Underneath the cheese.
Oh yeah.
So you put the sauce down. Like you'd sauce the pizza, you'd be holding your pubes in your fist because you can't leave a sauced pizza out there.
Right.
So you get your pubes,
or you sauce the pizza, go grab your pubes, come back, put the cheese on.
Like, don't fuck with this pizza. I just sauced it. I got to go do something, but I'm going to put the cheese.
No,
on
it's that. They'll be like, it's that stingy asshole Sam Roberts. That's his pizza. Hang right here.
Oh, you mean the dickhead from that apartment? Yeah.
Or they could spit on it. They could spit in your cheese without you ever knowing it. If they're spitting on the sauce, they're going to cook it in. You'll never know it.
If they spit and then they cook it, it doesn't matter.
It does. You still eat someone's
gross.
spit.
Nah.
Dude, you're full of shit.
You ever smell someone's plaque breath? Picture someone's plaque breath, hawking a loogie on your pizza.
I've had to smell people's bad breath before.
How about tartar breath?
Yeah, I've had to smell people's dried out bad breath before, early in the morning. It's happened.
What'd they say to you? Hey. It was dry?
So dry. And the iced teas don't help. But regardless, that's not, we're talking about pizzas here.
Yeah.
Oh, my manager would also, you used to be able to smoke.
But I'd find pubes in my pizza.
You could smoke in the office in Burger King, which was basically in the kitchen. Like, this is the 90s.
Right, okay.
Like, you could almost still smoke in Burger Kings and
sure.
Like that. He used to put his cigarette ashes in the guy's food.
Oh, yeah, I worked at a place where they did that, too.
Oh, really?
To who?
I worked at there was a restaurant in the town that I worked at, and this guy that owned it, he would literally be there all the time, and he had a bed in the back. He would just go lay down for like 5 minutes and go back to work, and he would just sit there and smoke, and it would just, ashes would fall in the food, and he would just kind of mix it together.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
Why would he do that?
He just didn't give a fuck.
Didn't you fuck up a salad bar one time?
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't trying to fuck with somebody, but I worked at Wendy's when they had the, remember the salad bar where you can go and help yourself to whatever, it was like all you can eat salad bar?
Would you go to a Wendy's public salad bar?
Probably not. I'm a little, there's only 1 or 2 places I'll go to the salad bar.
Where?
Plataforma. They have a salad bar which is immaculate that I'll actually eat sushi out of.
Wow.
It's the place that Patrice used to love.
I know where it is.
Yeah, do you know where it is?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal and it's clean and I trust everything in that restaurant.
It's a really good restaurant.
Yeah, like there I'll go up and eat the salad bar because it's so clean.
Yeah. But yeah, so the one day I was so hungry, I went into the refrigerator and they just had cooked chicken that was in the refrigerator. So I threw a bunch in my mouth and I was trying to chew it.
Because you just wanted a snack?
I just needed to eat something. I was so hungry.
Right.
And then my manager was coming in and I spit it into the salad, the lettuce for the salad bar.
Did you spit it because you didn't want him to catch you chewing on chicken?
Right.
Gotcha.
So I threw it, and then right when I was taking it out, and I just kind of mixed it together, and I sent it out.
You don't want to get
That's
caught.
terrible.
Yeah, and then I saw people serving it.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine eating his chewed chicken?
That would really bother me.
Yeah. Maybe that's
really bother me.
Maybe that's what they do.
You think so?
Maybe someone blows a snot rocket in your fucking pizza on the cheese.
I would hate that. I hope not.
That's what you get for fucking $5,
Being
$3.
Stingy. Yeah.
$3.
Being stingy.
Saving your $2. Real good.
You think? What would you do? Okay. All right, Troy, you're a pizza delivery guy.
Coming to your place?
Mm-hmm. And I've been using this place for years.
I'd put crushed glass in your pizza.
That makes it even worse. So you've been using this place for years and you're not throwing them $5.
3 instead of 5.
Do you think that's a good tip, Travis?
$3?
Yeah.
How much is the pizza?
It's probably, I don't know, $17. It probably makes it 20.
Yeah, no, that's not good. No, $5.
$5 would be fine.
By the way,
Like
that's still almost 20% if
Almost.
it's a $17 pizza.
Almost.
Give the guy a $5.
Yeah, we've got a place that does $8 pizzas on Sunday. I still give the guy $3.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd get $3 from me too. I don't care how much the pizza costs. It's $3. It's delivery.
No. It's based on cost.
I never thought a delivery thing was a percentage thing. I was just like, well, whatever. I'll get $100 worth of food. You get maybe
Still
then
going the same distance. I get that.
Maybe then you get $5. You know what I mean? It's like, what? 'Cause you brought it. It's not like we were in a walk up. It's an elevator.
Some people are so fucking weird with this. Mark, I want to ask this guy, when they say suggestive tipping, I think that's when it's on the receipt.
First of all, anybody calls up here and does the goddamn speech from Reservoir Dogs as if it's your idea.
Yeah.
You're going to die in a car accident.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, buddy.
Suggested tipping, I don't tip at all. When they put on the receipt, this is what we suggest you tip.
Yeah.
I say, screw you. I ain't giving you shit.
See, hold on. So you're being
easy.
Wait, you're being shitty to the server for something that they didn't.
Tipping is not mandatory.
Neither is smiling, but people enjoy it.
Neither is saying thank you when someone holds the door. But we kind of understand a courteous tone in the culture.
I do not mind tipping. I don't like where they suggest here.
But the server's not doing that. That's done by the register.
The server's not doing it. That's just being done by the company on the receipt.
Oh.
You're right. They can take that off.
So you're being shitty.
You're mad because you see it on the receipt?
Huh? Say what?
So you get mad because you see on the receipt that they have a suggestion for you?
Yes.
Because they're doing that because people can't do math. It's just
that's everywhere now. 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yeah,
and
it's
then the
actually
prices.
just to be easier, dude.
Yeah.
You got to understand, tipping is if the service is great.
We understand what but it is a part of the process, and we know it is.
Service has gone down the hill so much in this country.
Not really.
People don't give a
So then don't tip. But
If service is bad, that's different. Bad service is one thing, but just because it's on the receipt, you don't punish the server because it's on the receipt.
The company can take it off.
But that's the company. Why? Why?
Company puts it on. Because I shouldn't have to be bullied into giving money.
It's not bullied. It's suggestion. You're not being bullied.
It's actually they can also not allow credit cards.
They're being nice and helpful. They're like, we know that you'll have to take out a tip calculator and figure out what 20% is and blah blah blah. So here it is. We'll just print it for you. You can leave a tip if you want, but we don't want to have to inconvenience you to try to figure out.
You're a chiseler, dude. You're a chiseler. And you're being shitty to a server because of something. If you really believed in what you're saying, then why don't you find out before you hold up? Then why don't you find out before you sit down and eat? Do you guys put suggested tips on the receipt? If they say yes, we do, I won't eat in that restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend took me to a place this last weekend. It was a breakfast place. And it was new.
I love breakfast.
It was new.
I love breakfast. Breakfast.
Weirdest thing I've ever heard a complaint about.
What the hell's going on?
It's very, very strange.
Anyways, when
I'm not gonna tip on this breakfast.
You guys are assholes.
I know.
Anyway,
dude, why don't you just not eat at restaurants? So you're not being shitty to a server. Why don't you find out before you eat? Do you guys put a suggested tip on the receipt? And if they say yes, you can say, I don't like that. I'm not going to eat here. Why don't you just do that?
well, I didn't know they did that. And I understand what you're saying.
So why don't you do that?
I understand what you're saying.
This way you're not being shitty to a server.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
That's a shitty job, dude. It's not a great job.
We're moving in a couple weeks. Do you think I should start anew with a new pizza place?
Probably not a bad idea.
Because then at least
Start
like
fresh.
Why, make somebody else suffer?
Or just start tipping more.
I mean, that's what I mean. I'll start. 'Cause obviously, it'll be a new pizza place because I'll have a new location, and my residents will be in a new area. So,
are you out of the delivery zone?
Yeah, Domino's will probably come a lot quicker, but yeah, I'll be. I mean, it'll just be a different. Yeah, I'll just go to. There's plenty of good pizza places in Westchester. It's the best Chester. Yeah, they got Sbarros on every corner. So do you think I should start tipping more because I'll be in a new area, so I'll get less pube pizzas?
Yeah, I think you should. It's a good way to live life. Serve as it's just not the greatest job.
And you're a public figure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, people know who you are.
I wasn't when I started doing the $3.
Yeah, but now you are. So now you should do it.
Now it's like they're delivering, because we're moving into a house. So it's one thing. It's like, oh, he must be broke. He lives in an apartment. But then when they go to a house and you're still like, yeah, you're lucky to get $2. They're like, really?
They don't think that there's your ass is all over WWE Network and doing all this shit, and then this asshole's tipping $3.
They're sitting there, they're sitting there watching fucking SummerSlam, and I'm on SummerSlam, and they're getting $3 out of the deal.
Yeah, they're like, fuck this guy.
Fuck him.
What a dick.
Maybe.
We should break. Do
you ever worry that when you yell about your eggs that the interns are putting pubes in them?
No, I hope they do.
That's why he yells.
Yeah.
I don't really yell at the interns.
No, you don't yell at the interns, but you yell about the eggs. And sometimes people are like,
I didn't yell about them. I mentioned it.
You've gotten hostile about your eggs before.
No, I didn't like the schedule. The place.
You didn't think you gotten hostile though?
But not at the end. I'm mad at the intern. I was mad at the place.
Your hostile attitude. Sometimes the intern. They haven't complained about it. I don't know.
In life, sometimes we get mad. That's what it is. But I didn't blame them. I just like the old system. Anyway, now it's fine. They come right around the same time. He came a few minutes early, a few minutes late. Cool.
You gonna start tipping hot dog?
Bratwurst.
No, he said no. No, bratwurst.
That's a terrible quality.
Well,
it's a shitty quality.
He's gonna get cigarette ash burgers then.
I have a tour that is a lot of them are pre-sale starts today for I think Portland, Oregon. Seattle's the September 22nd. Portland's the 23rd. Dallas the 29th, Austin the 30th, October 6th, Scottsdale the 7th, Tucson. I'm also doing Vegas, Minneapolis, Madison, LA, New York, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Sacramento. A lot of them are going pre-sales this week, or they're going on sale this week. I don't have a list of everything because there's so many different venues. I also have other venues that I will be announcing very, very soon, including going overseas again to a place I have never been that I have been promising to go to for years, and I finally have dates booked overseas. They're definite dates. They're in December, and I'll be announcing them soon. So go to jimnorton.com for tickets to any of these places.
And if you want to get into the Highline Ballroom tonight, I'm sure you'll be able to. You can still get tickets online and just print them out, or you can go to the door and get tickets. There'll be a bunch of surprise guests now. I did my finalizing last night, and it's going to be a jam-packed show. It's a lot more than I thought it would be. Sometimes you say surprise guests because, you got to figure it out. But everything's figured out now, and it's gonna actually feel like the surprise guests were a plan all along.
Well, they all know you and like you anyway.
Yeah, and then I should mention, it's probably going to be full anyway, but tomorrow I'm doing a free show at Caroline's at 2:00 in the afternoon. It's another wrestling show that's going to air here, I think Saturday at 2:00. It's a SummerSlam special. Seth Rollins and Sasha Banks are going to be there. So
what time should I be there to interview them?
This will just be more of like a solo project. This is more like a side project. It's not an official Jim and Sam show.
Can't wait to go do that. That'd be cool. Hey, Seth, remember me? He'll probably remember me.
He might, but I'll show him a picture or something. This will be more of a side project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is like we're Foo Fighters, but what's Queen of the Stone Age you drum for?
I mean, he's been on the record, yeah.
Yeah, this is my Queens of the Stone Age.
You're not Dave Grohl.
I'm like Dave Grohl a little bit.
I wish you were like Kurt Cobain.
Earlier or...
No, now.
Oh, okay. So yeah, get to Caroline's tomorrow at 2 if you want to try to get into that. And if you want to get tickets, go to highlineballroom.com and meet me there tonight at 8 p.m. Dan Soder and other surprises. It's going to be a great show.
And we have coming in, as soon as we come back from break, my buddy Pete Corielli, who I don't think he's ever been on the show. I've known Pete for fucking almost 20 years. Really, really funny stand-up. Who I love. And who else do we have? Do we have Mark today, too? Go on now, get down there and lick my asshole. I like that a lot.
No.
We don't have Mark? What happened to him?
He's in New Orleans. Roland
we tried to get him. Okay.
Roland pitched him. He was like, you guys want Mark Norman tomorrow? And we were like, yeah, sure. And then he was like, well, he's in New Orleans. We're like, okay. That was the conversation. He goes, yeah.
It sucks to be you.
He goes, you guys want Mark Norman tomorrow or Thursday? And I was like, let's just do him tomorrow. And then Roland was like, well, he's in New Orleans. I was like,
okay, so it's just Pete. Okay, cool.
It's a good thing my texts are unlimited because I would have been pissed otherwise.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute. Let's bring in Pete Corielli, my old pal. I'm so happy he's here. I do like this a lot, though.
I sound like Daddy Yankee, right?
You do, actually.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
I like Daddy Yankee a lot. Hi, buddy.
Bum, bum.
Do you like that song?
Hot Dog's in there going fucking crazy right
Well, he
now.
probably speaks the language.
Well, he loves it. He loves drinking Limeritas and listening to Daddy Yankee. That's every weekend for
Welcome.
Hot Dog.
Thank you. I didn't even see you sneak back in, bro. I was waiting for you.
Oh, yeah, you were signed something. You and Sam don't know each other?
Well, we do
just
now.
met.
We met during the break.
We got a mutual friend, though, man, writing over at on the Kevin James show.
Yes.
A guy he knows named Pete Hoare I write with. And
Pete Hoare.
That's his last name.
That's awesome.
You know, he's like pretty much the best writer I've ever been around. Like, the guy's amazing. He's from Long Island. But I was saying to Sam, I wanted to come in and say that I know Pete before this started, because you can't bring up the last name Hoare without it becoming a
whole thing.
It becomes a different deal then. Yeah.
So, Pete, what makes him such a good writer? Like, I mean, is it the fact that he's prolific, or the fact that he
Funny jokes.
Yeah, but that's funny. A lot of funny joke writers are not good script writers.
No, it's more than that. Like, he's got a movie they're about to film on Long Island that he wrote that's going to, I don't know how much I can say about this, but the guy from Breaking Bad who played Hank.
The bald guy.
yeah. What's his name?
I don't know.
I should know.
Oh, yeah, he's been on the show.
Yeah, I know. I've interviewed him.
But he's going to be the lead of this movie, and like all these great actors want to do this, and it's this like little independent flick, but it's because the writing is like the characters got depth, and like you know, when you write with this guy, it's like we just make each other laugh. You know what I mean? You know, like when you're in a writer's room, there's a lot of different kinds of senses of humor. It's like when we sit around at the Comedy Cellar table.
Yeah.
Some guys make you laugh more than others, you know?
Yeah.
So,
some guys just never make you laugh.
yeah.
Does that happen sometimes at the table?
Oh,
Sometimes.
boy.
Those are the ones that usually end up making it.
Yeah. The ones that are sitting around making sure the table laugh.
Yeah.
They're not really sitting there worried about their careers.
Yeah. That was my motivation for not quitting stand-up half the time, is just because I couldn't sit on my couch at 45 and see some schmuck that sucked did make it. And I'm like, what did I do?
Why did I quit? Why did I give up? Yeah.
Yeah.
It is weird. There are some guys, and the greatest crime most guys commit is that they speak, when they do material in conversation, and when you see a guy doing
catch people?
always.
When you do, though, is it one of those things where you're like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable, let me not say anything about it? Or do you mention it?
Depends on the guy.
Yeah.
Depends on my relationship. Because it's funny to go, don't do your act to me.
Yeah.
It depends. Is this a bit? Like that's the way you call someone out. Is this are you doing a bit to me right now?
Just mid-sentence?
But you start to weed those guys out in your life. Like, as soon as you see a comic is doing a bit on you, in my head, I'm like, I'll listen to this, but mentally note, I'm fading you out of my circle moving forward.
This will be one of our
But
last
what
conversations.
happens, and when you get to a level where you respect it, like we do, you ever do something where you're telling someone something and you're realizing this is going to make a good bit? So halfway through saying, you're like, this isn't a bit, but I will be doing it now that I'm saying it to you. I'm
yes,
like, yeah.
I've had to do that many times. Or if I quote a bit, like I talked about something this morning that I've also talked about on stage, so I have to let people know I'm not doing my bit. So this way, if you see me, you don't think I'm doing a bit in conversation. Yeah, it's really, you get so self-conscious about that.
You're seeing the birth of a bit. That's what you're seeing right now. I'm not doing a bit on you with this. Like, we're in the writer's room once, and you know, with like Netflix, for example, it's like we got to compete with Netflix and, you know, CBS. And this is last year, early on, and it gets frustrating, especially because we got the kind of sense of humor that when I first started writing on the sitcom, I got to dial it back.
Sure.
So I said, we're doing a Halloween episode, and the woman gets hit. She's throwing eggs, and she gets hit. And I want the wife to say, Jesus, what is that, hard-boiled? And they go, oh, you can't say Jesus on 8 p.m. CBS show.
Really?
And I go, well, see, that's a problem. On Netflix, you can bang Jesus, you know?
Yeah.
And everyone laughed, and I'm like, not a bit, but it is now. And I wrote it down, you know? So it's kind of how it happened.
It was born, and you're like, I can use that again.
Yes.
But it is weird how, like, network TV, again, they have the advertisers they have to worry about. But sometimes I think they overprotect, and that's usually the lawyers. They kind of overprotect, and it's like, you could say a little more. You know, General Electric's not going to walk away because you say Jesus.
Yeah.
But,
Right.
But they get panicky. What is it like? I mean, you do right there, and there's that whole big story about the wife being killed off, and what's her name coming back? Leah Remini.
Yes.
Coming back.
I mean, that's our theory behind the whole thing was that whoever's in charge of the show really just decided, like, okay.
Well, who do you think's in charge of the show? Do we even have to guess about that? They're building a whole studio for the man out there as we speak.
Oh, are they?
He's a beast. He's a freaking beast. He's like a movie star.
Does Kevin go like, Kevin Can Wait's good, but why don't we just do King of Queens again?
Well, it's not King of Queens, but I mean, as far as the relationship they're going to have.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
Well, you know, because he never set out to do this to begin with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it just kind of morphed into this. I got to be careful what I say, too.
Yeah.
You know? But I will say we filmed the first, the episode that's going to air We just filmed it last week, and she's unbelievable, man.
She's great.
She is unbelievable. She's so funny. And, like, you know, those kind of people that, like, she's finding jokes where we were writing, like, because we all wrote the script, and there was some lines in it where it's just a regular line, and she's getting laughs. And I'm like, there's not even laughs there, and she's finding laughs. So it's good to see them back together.
So it's a weird thing too, like, and this was not about Kevin or someone from the network came out and kind of gave away the way they're going to introduce it, and I'm like, why did they do that? Like, I wonder, was he frustrated with that, or was he happy that they got it out there?
It's funny because Pete Hoare was listening that day when you guys said that, and he came in. He's like, Norton made a really good point, but you know, it's like it's a little bit of a compromise. Just because CBS says that's the route it's going to go, it's not the route it's necessarily going to go, and they know that too over at the network. It's you feel it out. You feel off the crowd. I mean, it would be like you saying 40 minutes into my act, I'm going to do my bit about Trump. And then, 20 minutes in, you're like, I ain't doing that.
Sure.
So, but they have to say something. And they even go, man, we had so much fun. Just, and this is no disrespect to Erin Hayes. Great actress. And she's already doing some show with Bryan Cranston. So it's just the chemistry and whatever else and the storyline. But, when she was going to die, we started toying with ways that she would die, just, for laughs, a couple of guys. And then we're like, let's just, we're not really going to touch it. There's no reason to touch it. And then CBS, they literally called and said, well, we have an opinion of if we're going to have to go that route, how it would go, So you're like, even that matters to these people. Like, if you said something really terrible, right? Like, oh, she was jet skiing and she got hit by a crabbing boat. They make it feel like you're saying that about the actress, It's a joke. It's a joke, man. So you got to be so careful with all that.
You have to be really careful. Yeah, you ought to do it like you ought to pitch like a double anal. She was cheating on him, and she.
I don't even know contractually if I can laugh at that.
She died in a double anal accident.
I got a 4-year-old daughter. I got a 529 college plan. I can't laugh at double anal jokes like that.
You're correct.
Hilarious.
It would be. I would watch the show though.
But it's a weird thing when you have to. Because when you went to CBS, like, hey, look, this is a network. It's different than doing cable, and you know that going in.
Yeah, it's a huge business.
There's a lot of money there.
And I never wrote on a sitcom or anything like that. So the first day you're there and you walk in. Well, they were building the studio while we were there. There was no studio.
Was that how they got him to do it on Long Island? Because they get Kevin back to TV because he is a fucking legit movie star.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the guy could literally just do movies and sit in a 50-foot trailer for the rest of his life if he wanted to.
Yeah, and like he's such a regular dude, like a Long Island guy where I grew up, that when you're out there, and like I did not know him at all until I got this, and just they called me up, Kev's a fan of your stuff, and we are, and so, just regular dude, walks around, his jet hat, hangs out. So, like, early on, he's like, I know you're a big fan of Billy Joel. You want to go see Billy Joel, So, yeah. And that's when, like, you're like, oh, wait, I've only hung out with this guy in this little building in the middle of nowhere. And that's when you go, and not only do you go see Billy Joel, but Billy Joel comes, you go into his green room and you chat with him. And then halfway through chatting with him, Billy Joel's like, why don't we do dinner? After the show, we'll all do dinner. And so then we go out to dinner with Billy Joel and Chaz Palminteri at Chaz Palminteri's restaurant, and you're like, by the next morning I come in and I see Kevin, and you're just like, all right, I'm back to being uncomfortable around you because you're a monster,
But it's a different world.
But he's just a regular guy.
One of the most New York tables I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was fly on the wall drinking a ton of booze, but fly on the wall.
How was Billy Joel? I mean, I've met him. I went backstage once years ago. Me and Bob Kelly.
Yeah, you got a picture with your dogs, or his dog or something, right?
No, we talked about it, and Bob annoyed him.
Oh.
This is 2003, though. But it was just a brief conversation.
Bob bothered him?
Bob just was annoying, trying to bond over dogs, and Billy Joel wanted no part of it. He had to go back out. No.
Billy Joel he's like Kevin James. That's why they're friends. Like, they're just regular guys. And the more regular you are around them, the more, that's the better. So I didn't say much. I was really
Was that the first time you met him?
Billy Joel?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I bothered him at MacArthur Airport when I was 18, but that's a whole different story.
Did you get a picture with him?
No, but when I did I didn't say much. And then afterwards, we're all at this table, and now Billy's going to get in his car, and I had been drinking throughout the whole show and everything like that. And, it was like I said, third day I ever hung out with Kevin, so I didn't realize he's much more of a refined guy and stuff. So in hindsight, I should have not had so many beers, but Billy's just standing there all by himself, and I walk up to him, I'm loaded, and I'm like, what's going on with the Yankees, huh, man? We got to turn around. And he's like, yeah, and he's doing that thing where he's not even looking. He's kind of looking straight ahead, and I'm like, okay, and I find myself doing the back pedal so often from famous people. I do it with Seinfeld and shit.
What happened with Seinfeld?
So then you wake up in the morning and you're like, you just... Oh, Seinfeld?
Yeah, what happened with Seinfeld?
What happened when you woke up in the morning? What happened?
No, you just wake up in the morning and you have that, and you're like, oh, God.
What an
You were
asshole.
so close. You were so close. Just do the walk away. And
But
you
you
would
looked
have
straight ahead like you didn't want to get into it?
Yeah, you look like, you would look outside of a Funny Bone in Columbus, Ohio. You know?
You're just not wanting to address the guy?
Well, no, he wasn't mean, but he was like, all right, you're a big fan, you've been drinking, just,
Trying not to connect, you know what I mean? Like trying to make sure that like he's not mean, but I do not want to connect with this person so that this conversation lasts any longer.
Well, I mean, do we even have to analyze it? He's one of the biggest rock stars ever. He just played the Garden. He just ate dinner with his friends, and now he's got a drunk Guido from Long Island coming up to him.
Talking Yankees.
Yeah.
So what happened with Seinfeld?
Oh, man, did I tell you that, man?
I don't think so.
Man. So this is years ago, and I'm at the Comedy Cellar, right, one night, and so Tom Papa and Seinfeld, this is when they started becoming very friendly. So, when Seinfeld comes, he sits at a separate table, obviously, doesn't sit at the Comedy Cellar table. And Papa's sitting with him. And I haven't seen Tom Papa in a while, and he's old friend. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I should go over. Just because he's with Seinfeld, I could still go over. He's my friend and just say hi. There's all going on in my head. So after a while, I have my Heinekens from time to time. So,
you had a couple of beers,
a couple of Heinekens, and I go up and I say, "Hey, I don't want to bother you, Tom. Ba ba ba, Jerry, da da da." I'm quick, a couple things, and I end it with something funny. Even Jerry chuckles a little. I do the fade away. All right, good seeing you, Tom. I go downstairs. I perform. Now I come back upstairs. I have a few more beers. I'm hanging out, and they're still talking. And then in my head, I'm like, I need to go back over there. I don't know why I felt this. But
you had already done it. Like it was already perfect.
And you got out on time. You got out. It was good.
Yeah, but Jerry's a legend. I never met the guy. I wanted to have a little me time at the table, right? Oscars had just happened, and they were terrible as usual, right? So I think Jerry would be a great host. So my thing is, and I'm literally sitting there with my Heineken, and I look over, and Judah Friedlander is talking to Tom and Jerry Seinfeld standing over the table. And I can even see then that Jerry's like done with that conversation. And Judah's on an NBC TV at the time.
Right.
I'm just a drunk with Heineken.
By the way, I'm not going to. I'm just saying. As you're speaking, I remember the story. And I want to hide under the table.
I don't know the story.
I know.
Oh, then I'm not finished.
No, you have to.
No,
he
I want to know.
it.
I really want to know now.
Well, let me plug my podcast before I embarrass myself.
Plug it.
Pete and Sebastian Show. We're on Sirius now, Fridays.
I know
I've never been on the radio with you, bro.
I know.
Ever
it's
in my
crazy.
life. It's not
crazy.
crazy. You kind of half blow me off.
No, I love you.
I know. I love you too, dude. You sat in my Jeep. That was huge.
So please finish the story.
So you
All
see
right.
Judah.
All right.
And Seinfeld's not connecting with Judah even then.
Right, you
and
could
you're
tell.
like,
You could tell even he's kind of done with Judah, right? So I wait for Judah to leave, and now I got my Heineken, and I kind of make my way over. And I've known Papa for years. He can tell I've had a few with me at this point. And he's, even with his eyes, he's doing the, wave. He's waving me off. He's like that, don't do it, don't do it.
But you have your liquid courage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I come up and I go, Pop, this isn't for you. Jerry, this is for you. And Jerry doesn't, doesn't even look over at me. And I look at Jerry, I go, Jerry, you gotta host the Oscars, man. They need you. They need you, right? And he doesn't even acknowledge me. He's just kind of gritting his teeth, looking at straight ahead of Papa. And it's so embarrassing that I go, all right, so goodbye again. And I do that backpedal away, right? So at the time, I was doing radio here at Sirius with Brewer, and I go on the next day, and I tell him the story, and he's laughing. So about 3 months later, Papa comes on, and right before he comes on, Brewer goes, "We got Tom Papa today, and hey, man, have we had him on since that thing happened with you and Seinfeld?" And I go, no, but Papa's not even going to remember that. It was embarrassing to me. It's not something he would remember. And Brewer's like, I think he might. So Papa comes on, and right away Brewer goes, "Hey, Pop, before we start, I want to ask you something." And Papa goes, "Not only do I know what you're going to ask me, the whole flight over here from L.A., I was thinking, do I tell them what Jerry really said about Corielli when he walked away?" So he retells it almost in detail the same way I did when I'm giving Pete the wave away. So anyway, as it goes, the first time I came over and I did my cool leave with a laugh, Jerry said, "Who's that?" And Papa says, "Pete Corielli's a funny comedian. He's one of us," right?
Oh,
like I'm in some sort of a... Second time I walked over and I faded away, Seinfeld goes, "Oh, so he's an idiot."
Yeah,
Come on, man.
Goodbye.
You blew it.
I blew it. Did I blow
Goodbye
it?
again.
Well,
He's a hard guy to read,
as a
Seinfeld.
parting gift, I gave him my show, right? No, my Jeep show.
That's, you know what? Pete Cornell.
By the way, before you get Seinfeld might be a hard guy to read, but not in that. Not
in that situation,
scenario.
that's pretty easy to do.
If Pete had come to me, I don't even know Pete or Jerry, and if you had come to me right before you did that and said, "Here's my plan. What do you think?" I'd tell you it was a terrible idea.
Oh yeah. Well, it's right up there with Billy Joel. That's why I said I backpedal away from everybody with a Heineken in my left hand.
Pete did the first. I did an interview with Pete years ago. I tried to get you on Down and Dirty. When I hosted that on HBO. You were the guy I pushed the hardest for, and HBO. It wasn't that they didn't like you; they just didn't know you. But HBO wouldn't allow me to do it. But you were the guy I pushed. It's very true. And again, my name was on it, but they were the bosses. You did something, a show in your truck, in your Jeep. Pete was doing it long before Jerry was doing it. And again, I don't think Jerry saw it and took it.
No, I don't either.
It was just what was it called?
I called it alternate side, and in a nutshell, I had a Jeep Wrangler, and I would sit in it, living in the city. I'd have to double park it and wait for the street sweeper, and then put it back. And I'm like, hey, let me do a talk show. And I had a dog at the time, my English Cocker Spaniel, and I did like 6 of them. And Jimmy was kind enough to do when I pulled up in Norton's was it's like 8 degrees out. You get out of your freaking apartment. I got the dog in the back, but I interview you for like 10 minutes, for an hour with some cameras,
GoPros, and whatnot.
Yeah,
it was good.
And I even have a bit. Like my favorite was with you. I should post that again. But like with Norton, I'm like, I go, you're one of these guys. You're always so self-deprecating. I go, but look at all that you've done. And I go, let's just put in perspective. I did 5 things. What would women rather do? And each one is something with you or with Jimmy Fallon, right? And I remember like one of them, for example, I go, would a woman rather go out, and I'm asking Jim what he thinks they'd rather do. Would a woman rather go out for a lovely dinner picked up in a limousine by Jim Norton, knowing he's not going to make any advances, just going to be fantastic conversation, 5-star meal, back home in the limo? Or would that same woman rather wash dishes in the back of a Chinese restaurant with Jimmy Fallon in August? And like without skipping a beat, Norton goes, "I'll wash dishes with Fallon." Yeah. And then he goes into a whole elaborate reason why. So like we didn't just get coffee. I took it to a new level.
Yeah, man. It was a fun talk show, except for the weather. I remember we were parked. This when I lived on Riverside Boulevard. I used to live on the corner of 70th and Riverside, and it's fucking windy there. It's the windiest block in New York because it comes right off the Hudson River, and it probably was 8 or 10 degrees. And you have a Jeep, which was not good for that kind of weather.
No, and we couldn't keep the heat on. We had to have the windows down so we could film.
Oh.
And like again,
my God, that's right.
The windows had to be down.
Oh yeah. And listen, obviously Seinfeld didn't see it and steal it, but what bothered me was like I did one with Colin Quinn and Tom Papa, right? So then when Jerry did it, pretty early, he did one with Colin and Tom. So when I go,
did he do Tom already?
I think so. Well, I
don't think Tom's ever been on.
Oh, well, I know he did Colin, and obviously Tom did mine, and his buddies with Jerry. So when I walk into the cellar, I look at Colin and I go, all I want to know is, did you at least have the balls to tell him when you were in that car that somebody kind of did something like this?
He didn't.
He's like, no, why would I do that? Of course not. Why would I do that? Why would anybody? But,
I like the premise, too, the idea that you have to be double parked.
Yeah, and I had a little timer, so no matter how long we were going, when that beeped, I had to get back or I lose my spot. So if someone's boring me, I could do the beep, and I'm gone anyway.
Yeah.
What you and Sebastian Maniscalco is? He's one of the hottest comics on the planet. Literally everywhere I go, and he's done it quietly. Like his Showtime specials, I think, were really big, but all of a sudden, you just see him doing 6 beacons.
Yeah,
and I know him from we used to open for Dice together at times. Andrew. There's times it was just me. There was times I did it with Sebastian. It was a weird thing. He would use 2 guys sometimes, and I guess he's clean and he's high energy and he's handsome and he's funny and people just love this dude.
Yeah.
So how did you guys connect on a podcast, or did you already know each other?
No, well we did. It's like 5 years ago. We were doing a tour in Canada is where we met, and in a nutshell, like I was like 4 of the dudes on it. And he's kind of a quiet dude, Sebastian. We met like online at the customs. He introduced himself. And then when, those kind of guys, like we get, what it was is you're in Toronto and every night you come down, you get in a van and you go off to a theater somewhere outside of Toronto. And like as soon as he comes down in the van, he's got his shirt on a hanger and he gets in the van and he sits in and I go, I knew it. Yeah. And he goes, what? And I go, I just knew you were the type of guy that has a separate performance shirt, right? And he's like, what? I sweat, And then we just hit it off and became fast friends. And then one day he's like, you want to do a cast? So I said, yeah. And boom, we just started doing it. But like, we don't have, This is me and him. We don't have guests. We got DJ Lou working the sound, and we've been doing it for a while now. And it's
are you in the same room or no?
No, rarely are we even in the same location, man. We're just constantly, like right now, I'm doing it usually from the writer's room. I mean, from my office out on Long Island, and he's usually on the road or at his house, but never together.
How do you hook up the audio?
Well, early on, we were doing it through Skype, and it was really interesting. It was so simple, man. You put your recorder on your phone, hit record, and you put your headphones on, and you'd be on Skype, all right? So now we're on Skype, and we can hear each other, but we're also recording just our own voices. And then DJ Lou marries them, and it sounds like you're in the studio. But now we got the whole thing with the, with the carry things from Sirius.
Skype has gotten even easier. Like, I record so much on Skype. Because,
you do?
Yeah, because all you have to do is plug a microphone into the computer, and then there's like a $30 app called Skype Recorder. And if you're calling somebody else that has a mic plugged into their computer, it sounds like really close to being in the same room. Oh, and you just record it right on your computer, and you got the thing right there.
It's better than phone calls.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it's much better than phone calls.
Dude, when we first started doing it, though, like I didn't even have internet. I was living way upstate, so I'd go to Tim Hortons in the parking lot, and I'd do it out of the back of my Jeep. I'd get a coffee and do it to steal their Wi-Fi. So you
didn't have internet? I remember when you and your wife moved up to upstate New York. That's 5-6 years ago, right?
Yeah, when she was first pregnant, though, we crashed at my in-laws' upstairs apartment for like a couple of months while I was trying to find a house. I was, looking for a house. So I had no internet. And, we just kept this thing going. So it's really good. It's a lot of fun. We love doing it.
Pete's a fascinating guy to me because your life is so much different than my life.
Yeah.
Like, he's married to the same girl, I guess, since your early 20s.
Yeah, ever since you know me, ever since I started doing stand-up.
And happily married. Like, I've never once heard him bitch about his wife. Like, he's a happily married guy. And you guys just you like outdoor shit. Like, our lives are... Do you still smoke?
No, I get the Nicorette gum going.
Oh,
big
good.
time.
You did quit. Because he smoked for all these years, and he was like doing these fucking... Like, what you guys just would go away and go to the mountains?
Yeah, we would do. We still do when we can. We got the kid now, though. But
how old is your daughter, son?
She's 4.
Okay.
So my wife says next year we do Disney World once, get it out of his system, and then she's into the national parks, whether she likes it or not, man. You got to get into those things. Yeah, we go backcountrying where you literally, you go up. We did it like I was telling Norton about in Colorado. I mean, where were we? Montana, where they got grizzlies, Glacier National Park, and you go backcountry hiking where you're out in the woods for 3 or 4 days with nothing but your freeze dried food. And like in the morning, my wife is gorgeous, man, blonde, 5'7", but she takes the shovel. And she's got to go 30 yards away to dig a hole and take a shit. And then you got to go like 50, 60 yards away to get your food because you dangle it in a tree to keep it away from bears. And then you see tracks and claws from animals trying to get at it in the night. And it's like an adrenaline rush, man.
You like it.
I do like it. But, we also partake with the chicken, if you know what I'm saying. So it's a whole big thing, yeah.
Well, when you're out, will you bring your daughter on those?
Hell yes, man.
But don't you have a weapon to protect yourself?
Well, when you go like the glacier where they have grizzlies, you get what do you call it? It's like pepper spray. It's bear spray.
The bear spray, the mace.
But and it's like the idea is the bear's got to be close enough that you spray the bear, but you're not taking into consideration whether or not you're going to have the balls to pull this shit out and actually, like one time we were in Colorado and we were on a path and we come around the bend and there was a black bear, not too big, but it's a black bear and it wasn't facing us. And I was surprised at myself. I did the whole stop and the back pedal, and then we walked away. And I look at my wife, and I'm like, "What do you want to do today now?" And she's like, "What do you mean? Let's go." I go, "What do you mean, fucking let's go? There's a bear out there." And she's like, "It's not on the path anymore. Let's go." And, so then for the next hour, anytime I'd pass a camper, I'm like, "Hey, watch out! There's a black bear back there." I'm making a big deal out of it. It's adrenaline rush.
It is an adrenaline rush, but you should have a gun. Or something. I would always have one weapon, just in case. They get a little... What if it's just fucking cubs?
Yeah.
What if it's walking with cubs?
You're not allowed to have a gun. You're not allowed in these national parks with a gun. You're not. So, like, one time we were in a national park, and I had the mace shit, and we were done, and we're camping, and the next day we're leaving. And now there's a guy and his son. There's a campsite right outside Glacier National Park. And I go, "Hey, I got some pepper spray," and he goes, "Oh no, I don't want to. I'm not scaring my kid with the bears. I'm not really getting into that with him." And I go, "Well, I'm leaving, so if you want my pepper spray, you can have it." And he goes, "All right." And he turns to his son and he goes, "Hey, son, we got this pepper spray for the bears now. There's nothing to worry about." And the son's like, "Oh, good, Dad. Okay." So we camped that night, and the next morning we wake up, my wife's looking on the map, and she's like, where we're going, there's still grizzlies. Quite a few of them, actually. And I'm like, shit, I just gave that guy my pepper spray. And she's like, "Well, what the fuck, guy? It's like $100 for that shit." So I go up to the guy and I'm like, listen, I'm going to need that pepper spray back. And I go, turns out I'm where I'm going. There's bears too. I'm really sorry. So like he goes, oh no, I understand. And he's like giving it back to me. And now the kid's filling up, getting sad, thinking now they're going to get eaten because they have no pepper spray.
Yeah, because now you've exposed him to the danger of bears.
Yeah, which he wasn't even afraid of. I'm
Right.
like, hey, enjoy your camp.
You never had to spray.
No, man, not even close.
Do you you want to go camping?
You know, I would do it for one night in a certain environment.
You'd love
What
it.
environment?
Like
You
with
want
a
to go
cabin.
You want to
like-
go glamping?
Yeah, exactly. I do.
Yeah.
But the idea of what Pete does, like he literally would just go and fucking hike, and they love it. And 3 days away in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but you go to like Yellowstone or Glacier or these kind of parks, and man, you go out there and you hike, you round the bend, Norton. You guys, you see shit that like your jaw drops. You're like everybody else are suckers for not seeing this shit. It's insane.
Like what?
You could Google image.
I mean, I can't describe it. It's like when you have a rough flight and you try to say how harrowing it was. I wasn't on it, guy. I'm not feeling it, you know?
Yeah, you mean just the sights and all that
The
stuff?
sights. I mean, dude, we were in Glacier. We round the bend with like 7 miles, a 7-mile epic hike, and we round the bend, and like from me to you is a billy goat, mountain goat out on a ledge. Like dangling like 1,000 feet up on a little ledge, just looking at me, and I'm looking at it. You know, it's like it's just
that would freak me out.
Yeah, I don't.
That would freak me out. That would freak me out.
Why would it freak you out?
Because wild animals, I don't know how they're going to behave, if they're going to bite me.
Yeah, that's probably not good for. You're not the camping type then.
I'm not the camping type. What about insects?
Oh yeah.
Nah, you get all that bug spray is fine. That's never an issue.
Do you carry citronella candles?
For when we're at the site, we do. Yeah.
What are you, a Nazi?
Yeah, no. But,
That's what they're doing.
Oh,
right.
You can't carry those citronella
those are the
candles
torches.
anymore.
Yeah. The weather changes are what pretty epic, you know. Like we were staying one time. We were in Colorado and we were staying in this cabin it's a chalet and it has no running water or anything. And you rent a bed that night. You know, you get a fucking bed, which is annoying because there are people in beds next to you.
Strangers.
I don't like that shit. Yeah. So and like they all try to be communal and stuff. I don't like any of that shit either. My wife and I just like to be alone. And so at one point, like it was a summer day, and all of a sudden the weather changes, and there's golf ball size hail coming down, and this group of like 20 people come running into the chalet that aren't staying there, and it's still like 5 miles to get down, and they're in shorts and they're sweating, and wet, and some of them are crying and shit. And the lady running the chalet is like, "You got 20 minutes, and you got to get the fuck out of here." And they're like, "But," and she's like, "You didn't come prepared. That's not on me." It's like, so it's really hardcore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why 20 minutes only?
Well, she doesn't want to be an animal. I'll give you 20 minutes to regroup, but then you're out of here.
Was it still hailing?
Because she's like, anytime there's a change of weather, all you people that don't take this shit seriously are going to come running over here thinking I got beds for everybody. You know, this isn't a tourist attraction. This is serious shit. You got to be prepared.
So have you gotten hit with hail?
Yeah, I got hit with hail. I mean, the worst thing we ever did was one time we were driving because we rent trucks when we land, and we make these, and we camp, like we'll pick a state. And we'll do a loop of the whole state and stop in different national parks and camp and just, a couple of days we'll stay someplace cool. So we see this thing called Cinnamon Pass. And it's basically an off-road thing that you can take over a hill and get to the other side and save a lot of time. But the cars that were doing it, they were like big trucks with monster wheels. So, we asked a group of people from Colorado, could we do it with this car? We had like a 4-wheel Blazer or something. Yeah, you should be good. So we start driving, my wife and I, and it's bumpy, but it's okay. And then you get like 2 miles in, and it's these hairpin, you're doing like 10 miles, 5 miles an hour. And now you're literally on the ledge with dirt, like looking straight down, like these huge valleys down. And then you're getting higher and higher up, and it's like late July, and then there's fucking snow. And you're like, what? I'm in shorts down there. And now it's snowing, and there's a half a foot of snow, and you still got to go a half a mile up to the peak to get back down. And you can't turn around because it's so narrow, you can't back up.
There's nowhere to go.
I'm shaking, and I stop, and I'm just like, I'm in park on this like 45-degree angle, and I got to go up and make a quick turn around the hairpin. But I have to go fast enough because I'm slipping on the ice. And I'm afraid I'm going to go too fast and go right off the ledge. And we're talking 3,000 feet down. And I have to brake on, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Jackie's like, can't someone help us? I'm like, who's going to fucking help us? There's nobody here. And you're just freaking out. And I'm like, I just got to go. And you get up it, and you quick turn, and we get to the top, and I'm like, my wife is crying, I'm freaking out. And then there's guys, outside of their pickup truck in the snow throwing frisbees and just like, you know, they're just fucking crazy Colorado people that like are prepared for all that. And you're going up to them going, we don't know how to get back down. They're just like, just take it slow, dude. And it was overwhelming. And it was like when we finally got back down, because the same thing going down was sliding and we're freaking out. You start to realize, you know, you gotta know what the fuck you're doing when you're out there.
The sliding down on the ice seems pretty horrifying.
Yeah, I couldn't be less interested in doing any of it, to tell you the truth.
No,
because,
I hear you.
You know, like in my house, you can pick the temperature, and it just stays.
Yeah.
Forever if you want. Like you could just, if you want it cold, if you want it hot, like whatever temperature, you just put it on, and then it just stays forever.
Yeah.
And I'm straight then. I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I'm good. There's no danger. There's no falling off anything.
But when you get down and then you go back and you pull the car over and you put down the back hitch and you get a cup of coffee, you're drinking some water and you light up a doob and you're like, what the fuck? That was insane. We almost died. Holy shit. It's just living.
I don't know how to I don't know how to change a tire.
There you go, man.
Do you?
What?
Do you know how to change a tire?
Yeah, I know how to change a tire, man.
Do you know how to change a tire?
I certainly don't.
Me neither.
Yeah, I call Pete.
Do you think,
I don't know how to do
think
it.
you and I would do well as a couple camping?
Not
you
at all,
literally
no.
can't change a tire?
No, never changed one.
You weren't even here, but I think I told you about it. It was one of the times you were out. It was a Thursday before a Friday show. I got a flat tire on the way home. You know who had to pull over? I didn't even call. He just saw me. You know who had to pull over and help me change my tire? Pete Dominic. It was humiliating.
Wow.
You told me you didn't know what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, that was evident to all that were around.
Yeah, I just called AAA.
Yeah, that's what I do too. But then you're on a private road and blah, blah, blah. Like the West Side Highway is a nightmare. But yeah, I mean, that's what you do. I know who to call.
Yeah.
If I get a flat tire.
Or drive it with the flat until you can get to a gas station, and then just realize I'll have to replace the rim.
Yeah. I had a slow leak last week.
Is that what you would do?
Yeah.
You can't drive. I mean, it was flat.
Yeah, I know, but if I'm going to get off the road, I have to get off the road.
Yeah, no. You'll risk the rim, right?
Yeah,
Whatever
fuck the rim. Yeah.
I had a slow leak last week, for about a month straight in my Subaru. I could go like 3 days and then it was low and I had to refill it. And writing on the show, I didn't have time, so I had quarters in a cup and I just kept every 3 days hitting a gas station. So like one of the last times I did it, you want to talk about taking begging to a new level? I pull in and I'm going to fill up my tire and there's a guy pumping gas right by me and he sees that my tire's a little low and he goes, oh, wait, before I put the 4 quarters in, and he goes, are you just filling up that one tire? And I go, yeah. Why? And he goes, do you mind wait, I'm just about done with my gas. Can I pull up next to you? Because I need air for mine. I just want to grab your air. I'm like, you're begging for my leftover air.
For 75 cents worth of air.
And now I'm sitting there filling up my tire, and I'm like, oh, I got to hurry up for this stranger. I want to save him some.
Save him some air. What a piece of shit.
I wouldn't have saved any for him.
How do you know you're not going to... By the way, I had to fill my tires recently. How do you know they're not going to... When they don't have the meter on the air reader, how do you know you're not going to blow your tire in your fucking face?
You got to have like a little
you got to bring
portable air gauge thing.
Oh, I don't have one.
Yeah, before I had one too, I would just put my hand on it and do a feel.
I just did it for like 5 seconds. I'm like, shh. Okay, it's good.
Should be good.
They have them on the pump.
This one didn't though. Some do, some don't. This one didn't.
I have like a portable thing. It looks like it's small. It's like a pen. And
what do you do? Do you plug that into the tire and then air through that?
You fill up the air and then you put the thing on the thing
and it shoots out.
Like you plug it in. And then it just lets you know what the air pressure is.
Oh, I should get one of those.
Yeah.
I think mine is a digital one.
I don't have one.
Oh man, you're just filling airtime now. I should get one of those. Like,
I really mean it.
Go out and get one of those.
No, I'll tell you why.
That's Norton thinking of something else to say.
No, here's why. Because I leave my car in the garage for a long time, so every time I drive it, it says that the air pressure in the tires are low because there's 3 weeks at a time I don't drive the car, so they start going flat. So every time I drive, I'm panicking about my air tire, the pressure of my fucking tires. I'm like, it's too low, it's not right. But then as you're driving, it starts to balance out and get higher, and I'm like, literally have been obsessed with the air in my fucking tires every time I drive because it sits for so long.
Well, and then it says on the side of the door like what it should
I had to go into the manual to find it. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing.
Do you have air in your garage? You should just call down and be like, balance my tires. I'm coming down.
I don't think I have air in the garage. Do they do that in garages?
Probably in New York City they do, man.
Oh, I never thought to do it.
Yeah.
It's probably in your building. If you're in the same one when we did the Jeep show. Yeah,
that's a Trump building. No, I moved.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
you didn't move down, so wherever you are,
yeah, it's still a nice building.
There's no garage in my building.
Backwards.
It's down the street.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's not a building. sanctioned garage?
No, it's about 3 buildings down. They just don't. My building just doesn't have it. Some
Right,
do,
right.
some don't. But it's again, it's a 30-second walk.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I like Trump buildings. I wish I still lived in one, but this
Yeah.
one, I have more room.
Did you hear about that? The movie company that's giving the subscription service that a couple of the theaters are mad at for no particular reason. It's really crazy. I didn't even know it existed until they just announced they were bringing the prices down. So I guess one of the guys who found it. Do you still go to the theater?
Not in a
Movie
while,
theater?
but I do once in Blue Moon.
Yeah, I go like a lot. So I less now because of the kid, but I go at least like 2 or 3 times a month. So this company figured out a way to there's one of the guys who founded Netflix. It's a subscription service. It used to cost $50 a month, and for $50 a month, you could get you could see up to 30 movies a month, one a day.
Wow.
30 movie tickets, and it's not not digital. Like you go to the movie theater, they give you the movie tickets, and you go. The way the service works is like they send you what type of credit card is it?
MasterCard.
A MasterCard. So they send you a MasterCard, and then you just go on the website and say, today I'm going to see this movie at this time. You've paid your monthly fee, so they put on the credit card what you need for it, and then you go to the theater and use that card and you get the ticket.
Okay.
But so you're not spending any of your own more money than the $50 a month. And so, it's still a good deal if you go to the movies all the time, because you can do one movie a day every day. And that's it. They don't roll over. They don't do anything like that. But you can go get one movie
and
ticket
how much
a
is
day.
it?
At first, it was $50 a month. Now they just brought it down to $10 a month. It's $9.95 a month, which is less than one movie ticket. So, I guess they've decided that they want to get, because they had an okay subscriber base, and they want to get millions of people to subscribe. So they're going to lose money on the movie tickets because they're buying the tickets.
So why will they do, unless they're going to slowly raise them over time?
Well, they'll probably do a lot of, they'll probably will slowly raise it over time. Though also they say they're going to make a lot of money in marketing. They're going to just find other ways to make money. Maybe, I was talking to Travis about it before the show, maybe they'll theme the MasterCard, once a month they'll do here's the Deadpool MasterCard, and the people who make Deadpool will pay a whole bunch of money to get on the MasterCard. They'll put ads on the website.
Can you see IMAX movies like that?
No, it has to be.
It's 2D.
It's 2D basic theater movies.
Buying it the day of, you can't,
advance.
Yeah, you can't buy in advance.
Boy.
Right. So you can see movies the night
But
they
they
come
have
out.
plans where you can escalate that, and you can add IMAX, you can add 3D.
I'd want to add IMAX in 3D.
You would?
Yeah.
I
It's the only
wouldn't.
reason I go to the movies anymore is to see IMAX in 3D.
Yeah.
I don't do the IMAX or the 3D.
I got too many habits when I watch a movie that, need the privacy of my own home.
Oh, you watch it all.
Jerk off?
But you pause. It's like
You like to go piss if you want to, whatever you want to do.
Everything,
Yeah,
yes,
you want
yes.
to. You want to do.
I mean, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but anyone who smokes a cigarette after a heavy scene, you want to hit pause, go out on the porch, light up a smoke with the person you're with. What the fuck? I can't believe he did that.
Yeah.
And,
you want to pause the movie. I do understand that. I don't like watching a movie that I can't pause. I have to time out. I have to sit in the aisle and time out my piss breaks. And I'm in the bathroom probably 9 times during a movie.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I'm always around the corner of a movie theater choking down a freaking 2 grams of weed before I get in there, hoping it'll last longer. All right, enough with the pot shit.
Right.
Norton, I don't talk about that much.
If you smoke pot, it's fine. It's legal.
No, but the point is, unless it's something where visually you want to be seeing it at the big screen, there's not even 50 movies there's not even, after 1 week, don't you think, Sam, there's nothing left that you'd want to see in a movie theater? Now you're just going because you got the pass?
I think so too.
I go all the time.
You do?
I just saw the new Annabelle movie this weekend.
What's that?
Yeah.
It's the Possessed Doll movie. It's
how was it?
It's like the spin-off of The Conjuring. It's good. It's great.
Well, maybe when I have a young lady friend here who I'm dating consistently, then I'll go, it'll be something to do.
Here's the deal, though. You can get one movie ticket. So you're going to have to either buy the 2 movie tickets separately or get a subscription for her or whatever, because you can only get 1 ticket. You can't get 2 tickets from the service.
Can you imagine you're on a date and you go, well, I belong to a service, so mine's free, and I'll just pay yours. You wait over here.
Like you're using, you have to use 2 cards now.
She'd be like, you were supposed to be taking me to movies that you're in, guy.
Yeah.
That's why I'm dating you.
Yeah.
Hang on, I get a deal, because I'll swipe for my ticket with the red card, and then I'll take my other card out, and it has have to be two separate transactions, but I'll get your ticket too.
Just wait. They have to add the money to my card.
Freaking. Last week, I'm in a Home Depot with my wife because our hose got broken, and there's a hose clamp for $5. And she's looking at it. She's like, if we put this on there, and right below it is the same hose for $10. And I'm going, Jack, I don't give a shit. The hose is $10 right there. But we could save $5 with this. It's just... They want you to feel like you're saving money, but the truth is...
It's more trouble than it's worth.
And there's not enough movies. And by the way, you have nothing left to see on video, Sammy, because you've seen it all in the movie.
I watch movies over and over again.
He will.
I'm a movie nerd.
I can watch a couple over and over, but I can't. Some of them I can just watch once.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, once and I'm finished. Are you in Long Island now?
Yeah, only for this thing, but you still live upstate, yeah.
Wow. That's so funny, though, because you would be like... You'd have to do two separate transactions for your movie dates. Two separate receipts and everything.
I know, and then a third one at the end of the night. I have to hand her money.
You'd have to. Can't we just pick out the movie at the theater? No. We have to do it in advance. No, we can't. You can't pick You can't just go to the theater and pick the movie.
Oh no,
because you have to do it on your app before you leave, just to make sure that everything is copacetic, and then get to the theater and pick up your ticket.
It's a great deal. I mean, like if you're just going to the movies, you know who goes to the movie? Like, there's a comedian named JJ Ramirez. Do you know JJ? Of course you do.
He goes to the movies in between spots.
Does he really?
Sometimes.
That's awesome.
JJ is known. I've known JJ for a long time. He literally sees everything. He's like one of those guys that like everything that's being talked about JJ has seen. He goes in between spots. I didn't know that. I guess he's kind of obsessed with film.
Yeah, when he has free time, he loves going. And I love his reviews. I trust his reviews more than anyone.
I've never gotten one from him.
Yeah, no, from his movies. When he'll come in, he always when I used to play the strip, he'd bop in, tell you what he just saw and whether or not you should go see it. And he was always dead on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I watch movies all the time. I go to the theater whenever I can. I love going to the movie theater. And then I got all the movies on iTunes too. I got like 250 movies on iTunes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want maybe because I'm so distracted easily anymore with the phone and pausing.
It's an escape. It's good. It's like you go, all the lights turn out, you get out of your own head, you just watch the thing, you don't think about your other shit for 2 hours.
I love it. So the last thing I saw was Logan in the theater.
Oh, really?
And that was great. And I was on a date, and come on, don't tease me. I pissed 8 times, and I cried at the end of Logan. I was a disgusting fucking beta fruit.
That is so embarrassing.
I was a beta fruit running to piddle and then weeping like a washwoman.
Especially because you like to date younger women.
Yeah, this one was younger.
Yeah, you don't want to... You don't like it doesn't help you come across to them as like, oh yeah, age is nothing but a number. He's young at heart. If you have to piss 8 times, like
I know.
That's an older man thing.
Yes, it is, and I always try to joke about it. And then after a while, there's just no more jokes, and I'm like, I'm sitting in the aisle, and I just kind of sneak out I just kind of roll off the chair, hoping she doesn't notice in her chair next to me that I've gone to piss again.
That's so annoying too, because an aisle seat is not a good seat in the movie theater.
I prefer an aisle seat.
But that's so you can escape.
Yeah,
in any capacity.
Don't you prefer an aisle seat?
Absolutely.
Well, on an airplane, yeah, but like if you're watching a movie, the center is the good seat, so you can watch.
No,
nothing is more important than not having to tell a stranger to move.
Excuse me. Yeah, I always requested an aisle. That's why when we went and saw Guns N' Roses at Apollo, I requested an aisle seat. Do you remember that when we were talking to Ross in the office?
So this concert is like Guns N' Roses at the Apollo, right?
Yeah.
It's 1,500 seat venue for a Guns N' Roses show. Like it's impossible to get tickets, and it's a SiriusXM exclusive subscriber event. So we went back to the boss of promotions, and we were like, hey, we both love to go. Like, if you can only come up with one pair, we'll go together, like, whatever you have to do. And he's like, okay, I think we should be able to work that out. And Jim goes, yeah, and on an aisle, please.
Because I pee a lot. I know I'm going to jump up to piss. I don't want to disturb people. I don't fucking like having to get up and piss and disturb people.
Neither do I. Even on a plane, man, when someone's sleeping next to me and I'm like staring at him, waiting for him to lift his head up for a second so I can pretend I coincidentally have to piss at that moment. Meanwhile, I've been staring at you for a half hour waiting for the fucking movie.
Yeah, it's the worst.
But you don't piss like Grandpapa does.
I'm up there, man. I piss a lot in the middle of the night. Like when I go to bed at night, I don't even get too comfortable because I know I'm going to be getting up 3 times at least before I really
Do you do this thing when you're settling in after a piss, when you settle in, when you start sucking in your bladder and you're like, yep, I still feel it in there. It's the fucking worst. It happens when you get older, and also when you drink, and also when you drive a lot on the road. Like you're doing road gigs for fucking 20 years. You learn you just have to piss a lot, and you always have to hold it because all right, next rest area 38 miles, and you're like motherfucker.
What about on stage, man? I love when I'm playing places where the green room is right off the stage.
Love it.
I literally will be midstream while the guy's going, "Are you ready for the headline?"
100%.
Perfect timing.
That's why I like to know my opener. That's the main reason. I like to know what bit.
Pissing?
Yeah, they're gonna do, and I
say that to them.
Closing bit. I'm like, all right, or if it's an MC, I'm like, do 2 minutes. And I stand there and I just whiz quietly and I twiddle my nipple because it relaxes me. And it's true. And I whiz and I run out on the fucking stage. I literally want to have the tip of my dick every time I walk out on stage is glistening still because I've just finished.
It must be.
Well, minus the nipple part. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I like to do that. It relaxes me, helps me piss.
It must be torture to think about pissing that much. I never think about pissing.
You're lucky you don't. But again, the road gigs do it to you a lot. Like it started after a few years in comedy when I was on the road and in cars for so long.
Yeah.
My father has it too because he drove a truck. You're in the vehicle for so long, and you learn to obsess about pissing because you have to go, you have to hold it,
You have to time it.
you have to time it. It's a whole fucking thing. You're in traffic.
So does your dad piss a lot now?
I don't.
Or he's just aware of it all the time.
I think both. I think he does, but I don't know if he does like he used to.
Do you piss a lot, Troy?
Oh yeah.
Like that?
It's good for you.
Yeah, I have to get up at least like 3 or 4 times in the night.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I get weird anxiety with peeing next to people. It's a whole thing with me.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's 'cause
You
you
pee
sit.
next to me all the time.
But there's nothing worse than being on stage and having to piss, and you're like, "Oh, this is." I mean, I
uncomfortable.
One time years ago, I told a crowd I was playing somewhere, and I was like, we will literally have a better time if you just let me go take a quick leak. And I had the MC come out. I pissed and came back.
Really?
Yeah, just because it was like we weren't gonna. I want you guys to have a good time. I want to have a good time.
And you're going to be distracted.
And they
over
probably
here.
don't care. It's a weird thing. I've only had to walk off once.
Yeah.
And that was at the Cellar. I had eaten a bunch of, what are they, chocolate puffs? Cream puffs? They used to have cream. This is fucking many. Bobby Kelly was hosting. And I'm on
That's
stage.
not a huge surprise that they had chocolate cream puffs.
They did, yeah, they were delicious. And I ate like 4 of them right before I went on. And Bob Kelly's hosting. I'm on stage. I'm about just a 20 minutes in. I'm 5 minutes in. And I'm like, I'm going to vomit.
You said that?
I ate to myself. I'm like, my mouth was watery. I'm like, I ate so many cream puffs. I had to throw up. So I told somebody, get Bobby. So Bobby had to come back down the stairs and I'm like, Bob, I'm going to vomit. So he came back on. I ran into the Cellar. I made myself puke in the bathroom. And I came back on 3 minutes
Did it taste
later.
like chocolate?
I believe it did.
I bet it did.
And I felt great. But sometimes you have to walk off the stage just
Did
to...
you hear that for all you up and coming comics? He went back on stage
And forced the vomit, by
He
the way.
didn't go
Forced
home
it.
and call it off. Unbelievable.
No, I went and made myself puke. We have to take a break, I guess, because we're wrapping up shortly.
Not too shortly.
I know, but we have one more break. We have
yeah.
40 minutes left, but I mean, do we have one more break? Or no? Travis, we okay?
We do have another break.
Yeah, I mean, you should break.
Okay. Do you ever work with Sebastian on the road? Because his crowd, he has massive crowds. You guys would probably work well together.
No, not yet. I mean, we've wanted to, but once I started writing on this thing,
It's
you
kinda
kinda
hard.
get locked in, yeah.
I just love the idea that you can't say no to chocolate puffs.
Now I can, but back then I couldn't.
But do you think? But you could say no to all chocolate puffs. But do you think you could do like a couple chocolate puffs and be like, that's okay? Or does it always have to be like, I'm gonna fill my weak little stomach with
Dude,
chocolate puffs?
I ate so many. I had to leave my profession to vomit.
You're an adult.
I'm 49 now. I was probably 35 when that happened. I was a grown up.
At 35, you definitely should know how many chocolate puffs is enough.
Yeah, I mean, Norton, look at the transformation in the body since I've known this guy. It's like
You've seen every facet. You've seen. When did I meet you? I met you at
This
the New
guy's
York.
borderline sexy now, man. Holy shit! Yeah,
I met you at the New York Comedy Club. You were newer. What year did you start? 95, 96?
95. About
So I met
95.
you right around there. Yeah, Pete, at the old New York Comedy Club. I think I was on 2nd Avenue. Did you walk way up the steps?
No, I started when it was already on 24th.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I never was at the old one.
Can we please talk to the urologist that's on the phone to help you? I know we got to take
All
a
right,
break, but I want to talk
No,
to
please. Let's talk to him.
Because when Jim's not bluffing. The reason that I've become kind of obsessed with this as a topic is because I saw it. Like, I've traveled with Jim, and like, it really is ridiculous. When we did Comic-Con, the amount of piss breaks, like, it got to the point where I wouldn't even go in and try. I just wait for you outside, be like, okay, I couldn't
But
have
I
to
would
piss
have
less.
knowing Norton, though. I'm sure, like in a lot of those situations, you could have held it longer if you had to. But
yeah.
it's just uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncomfortable.
I don't like being uncomfortable. Absolutely not. Yes.
But like 8 piss breaks in a movie.
It's crazy.
Multiple times at night. Like, I never
That's
wake
why he
up
doesn't
at
need
night.
that little coupon thing.
He's a DVD guy.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Jim. Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Hello.
I listen to you guys all the time. Nice to finally get in to talk to you guys.
Thank
I
you.
hear about Jim's bladder problems all the time, and it's always made me worried, but I'm with Sam. The 8 times in the bathroom during a movie is way too much.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think it could be?
It can either be his bladder or his little prostate could be swollen. Do you see a urologist?
I've had my bladder. I've had a sonogram done, like on my bladder to see it. They said it's the right size.
Like a pregnant lady?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I did.
See? And there he is. Your bladder's waving to you.
Yeah, I'm giving birth to piss every 20 minutes.
That's your bladder's little foot. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
And I've had the prostate check more times than I care to admit. Sometimes traditionally, and sometimes it's
absolutely.
Sometimes a skirt is hiked up in front of me.
Sometimes there's a few while you're up there.
Yeah.
Amateur prostate checks.
Finger, I imagine.
So yeah, I've had it checked. They said it was okay. Here's what I think it might be. And you tell me if I'm crazy. My appendix exploded when I was 7, so I have that dumb appendix scar in the front. Something tells me that it has something to do with the way my appendix or something was sewn up when I had my appendix burst.
Well, it's not impossible, but the only reason I don't think it's that is because your bladder is sort of separated from your peritoneal cavity. So they shouldn't have been anywhere near your bladder when your appendix was ruptured.
Okay.
I guess something crazy could have happened, but that's pretty unlikely. It's much more likely that you either have overactive bladder or you have some sort of prostate impingement on the flow. Did they ever try on any medications? There's like 12,000 medications you could try.
Yeah, but don't they make you like, what do they do to you, those medications? They fuck you up a little bit.
What would you rather do? Take a pill or take a piss?
I'm gonna piss.
Yeah.
8 times?
I mean, if you're in the middle of a good movie, I'd rather take a pill than take a piss.
What are the side effects of the pills, though?
What if it keeps you asleep? What if you don't have to wake up 9 times a night?
I think half the time I wake up because I have apnea. My body's just waking me up to piss because I'm going to die.
Oh, well, maybe you should take the pill.
Yeah, Jim's right about the sleep apnea. The sleep apnea actually makes you make more fluid at night so that you have to get up and pee. So sleep apnea has its own little physiological changes. It makes you urinate more
Which
at
keeps
night.
you
It
alive,
has nothing to do with your bladder.
All right, well, let's can I address the elephant in the room here? And that, like, why not just do the diaper? Like, just buck up the pride. Why aren't all men doing the diaper? I mean, my daughter's 4. She holds it everywhere else, but at night she still needs a diaper. In the morning, I peel it off, throw it in the garbage. She wipes her ass. I'm like, why aren't I doing that?
I'd wake up anyway.
You think so?
Yeah. I would never
start
be able to
getting used to it.
No, I woke up this morning. I get up at 7. I woke up at 6:30, and my bladder was ready to explode. And I knew I could fall back to sleep for 30 minutes. I'm like, I'm okay for 31 minutes. I dozed back off to sleep, and I woke up and pissed.
Plus, Jim doesn't need a diaper because if he pisses all over the bed, he'll just sleep in it.
Yeah, I've had that happen to him.
He has done that. I mean, as an
But
adult.
you should look at the side
This
effects.
year.
They're really not that bad anymore.
Okay, what's the pill I might be able to take? Go on now.
The newest one for overactive bladder is called Myrbetriq, and that one has the least amount of side effects. If you need one for your prostate impingement, then Flomax. That one does have some ones that I feel like you personally may not enjoy that much.
Like, what's a Flomax side effect? Is it erection problems?
Because of your fun habits. It doesn't give you actual erectile problems. It makes you so you don't ejaculate. So less messy.
That's the punishment element.
Although, does that mean you can edge for longer?
I'm trying not to edge as much as
I
bad
don't
for
think
you.
it affects that part of it.
Oh, okay.
Dizziness, drowsiness, weakness, that's fine. Nausea, diarrhea, I can live with it. Chest pain, headache.
No, it doesn't.
Decreased amount of semen, you lost me.
Yeah.
You lost me. I like an obscene amount of cum.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy Ropes does not.
We have some other things we can do that you can still have your voluminous cum if you want it.
What can I do?
Procedures that are done.
What can I do?
There's you need to see a urologist, but there's 2 different procedures that can be done that would maintain your ejaculatory pleasures.
Hey, can I get cum implants?
Yeah, maybe
sure in your mouth.
If I had a nickel.
So all right, Amy, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. The procedures, medical, are they like surgeries?
Well, they're office surgeries. They're really easy. Like I said, there's lots of easy office in and out. You barely need any just conscious sedation, and you won't be peeing 8 times in a movie. And I feel like it'd really help you. So you
All
can
right.
look into it.
All right, Amy, thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the show.
Have a good day.
All
I
right,
do
goodbye.
love that you were so wrapped up in Logan that even after 8 breaks, like you'd think 8 breaks would take you out of the movie entirely. Even after all those breaks, you were still crying at the end.
No, that was just basically, I probably had to piss again, and I'm like, let me just drain some out of my face because this fucking movie's too good to walk out on again. In a break, I'm going to promote Pete Correale, who is really, really a great comedian, man, and I've known you for so long, and you really are a great comic.
Thank you.
The Pete and Sebastian Show with Sebastian Maniscalco, who's one of the hottest comics on the planet right now. New episodes weekly are on iTunes and SoundCloud, and you can hear them on Raw Dog, Channel 99 on Fridays at 5 o'clock Eastern. That's Afternoon Drive in L.A., 2 o'clock out now. Oh, actually, Afternoon Drive here, too. And it's at My Correale is your Twitter. M-Y Correale, which is Correale, and PeteCorreale.net. And, just the only date he has is October 20th and 21st at Gotham because of writing on Kevin's show.
Exactly.
And my new tour, Kneeling Room Only, tickets are going on sale. I just tweeted Indianapolis. The pre-sale is happening right now. That gig is in November. Tickets are on sale tomorrow. But the pre-sale for the Egyptian Room, I forget what the what the fucking pre-sale word is. I just tweeted it. I'm so bad at this. I should probably know. But go to jimnorton.com for dates in Seattle, Portland, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, New York. I have Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, a whole shitload of places, San Francisco, Sacramento. And more dates will be announced soon. So this is the chorus is the passcode for Indianapolis pre-sale, which is happening now until 10 o'clock tonight.
Very, very exciting. And tonight, if you want to check out Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast live at the Highline Ballroom, Dan Soder will be there along with other surprise guests. Go to highlineballroom.com for tickets. It's going to be a very, very fun show.
8 o'clock show?
8 p.m. tonight.
All right, we'll come back with Pete Correale. We're hanging out for a little while, so hopefully stay around or don't.
Oh, boy. Wow, that was so smooth,
It really was. I put my arms out. I let the guys in the room know.
Oh, and I forgot. Pete.
We got to have you on, Norton. We got to have you on.
I would love to be on.
A nice, meaty part, man, not just the open the door part. I mean, you're
But in order for Jim to get
thespian.
In order for Jim to get on your show first, you'll have to escape the asylum, because that's what this show is.
Don't do that when my friends are in. It's embarrassing.
He was so embarrassed because he knew what I was going to do. When my fingers started going to the iPad, he was like, "Don't do the asylum."
My friend is here. We do this. It's like when your mother comes in and says something that she only says when your friends aren't there.
Yeah.
We have this thing. The people.
We call our show the asylum.
Well, we don't really like
because
to call it that.
Jim and I are kind of nuts on the air.
Fair enough.
So it's like, and sometimes it's like from 8 to 11 in the morning. It's the inmates running the asylum.
Oh,
so that's cool.
I like
right?
it, man. It's a good angle.
And we have a hashtag that our audience uses. They all use it.
No, we don't.
And it's hashtag be committed. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Yes,
good stuff.
Cool, right?
Absolutely.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's marketing.
And Jimmy, tell your friends how you race your car on the rug.
Yeah. The only person that's not totally nuts is the Travis dog over there in the tough box, right, Travis dog?
What are you doing? Why are you making that noise?
Stop embarrassing Jimmy.
Well, we bark. We bark for Travis.
I'm dying over here. No one's like, come on.
Jim, do you ever bark for Travis?
No, I haven't.
Never.
Oof. I have.
It's very excited to be in the asylum, man. This is crazy.
Don't sell out the asylum, bro. Come on, Jim. You got to stay true to
right.
it.
Only crazy people talk about peeing.
Right. That's why we have this.
All right. Well, embrace it, Norton.
For the guests, so they can't get out.
You're locked in. Crazy.
Speaking of crazy, by the way, the best news that I heard all day yesterday was that in North Carolina, they are considering bringing up felony charges against the people that knocked down the statue.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Do you know what that means?
It means that my new favorite Twitter account could be. What's the guy's name of the Twitter account? Did you see the Twitter account?
Oh, did I see it? Yeah, I was getting tweets all day.
We became obsessed with one of the guys who knocked the statue over because he was
So let's say if you're a fat kid who's not terribly coordinated and you're wearing a blue shirt, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to be in the video.
You didn't have to be.
The statue's already coming down. You ran around just so you could pretend to pull it down.
Do you want to see him charged with a crime?
You jumped in front of the camera so you could kick it poorly. And now, yes, I want to see him charged with a felony crime.
We became obsessed with one of the kids in this video. He's a chubby kid in a blue shirt who it was the lamest. Like, he was just a lame, like, he lamely kicked the statue. It was so great.
He ended racism with his kick.
Where is he? That's not the video.
Matter of fact, I got it's on my. If you just scroll down my tweets from yesterday, you'll find it. I got a tweet from him. I think his tweet is at Fat Blue Shirt Kid or something like that. Do you have his name?
Blue Shirt Guy. Fat Blue Shirt.
Fat Blue Shirt Guy. He
Which
tweeted.
is him. That's. I mean.
Well, yeah, he's got his photo. But I tweet out the this article that says, he's going to get this, he's going to get charged with a felony. And at Fat Blue Shirt Guy tweeted me back, but I ended racism.
That guy was the best.
Yeah, the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, Pete, watch how lame he is in the video.
Look at her waddle.
Is there a volume? What's the music from?
I have no idea. Just Troy listening to tunes. Troy likes to listen to his music over there. He said, Troy, one of Troy's quotes is, "Life is better with a beat."
Yeah.
And so he just likes to have a little something
Yes.
playing in his earphones.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, there might be no sound on that version. On the first version of the video, maybe.
There was sound.
There was, right?
Yeah, of course.
Wasn't there just sound a minute ago?
Oh, wait, I don't know if there was or not. Remember we said there might not be any sound in this one?
Right, there was not.
So this lady's up there pushing it over.
Right. And then what you don't see in this video is, see that yellow strap that's connected to this statue? The people are all pulling it and pulling it and pulling it. As the statue starts to tip over, a fat guy in a blue shirt runs over and just grabs the yellow cord, so it's as if he's pulling it as well.
Yeah, but he really was not a part of the process.
No, he had nothing to do with the statue coming
But then he comes over and he's so angry.
There he is. Okay. So this,
jeez.
yeah, that's right. They crushed the statue.
Now they all come over, they kick it, they spit on it.
Fuck you, statue.
Wait till Fatso runs in. You'll see him in a second.
Flipping it off.
He has hair like Carmine Ragusa.
Guy
Hold
in
on a
red.
sec. Here he is.
Here he is. Here he is.
Watch his awful kick.
and then slick his hair back. I'm cool. This girl comes and starts kicking the shit out of it.
She's front kicking it.
Troy,
Watch Fatso. Look at that worst.
Go through
that
your
lame
emails.
little tap with his foot.
Troy, go through your emails yesterday so we can see the video that Travis emailed you. Remember when the show was on? Yeah.
We became obsessed with this guy.
Oh,
Sam pointed him out, and he's my favorite part of the entire thing.
The whole story, the whole Charlottesville
story. Trump's falling apart. It's just so much fun to watch this kid not want to hurt his little foot.
Nothing is more
Give it a
important
little
than this
lump tap.
kid.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, because they have that on video, the people in North Carolina, the law, whatever, the police, they were saying that they're going to charge those people that took down that statue.
Didn't that woman get arrested?
With the felony.
Yeah, felony.
There you go.
Which means there's not that many people that are on camera pulling the thing down. I think they're going to arrest the Fat Blue Shirt Kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope they do.
We're going to get his name that way, and we could try to get him on the show and tell him that we're obsessed with him.
We will. We will.
Rest of your life.
And if he doesn't want to go on the show right away, we'll bother him until he does. There it goes. The statue gets crushed.
Oh, here he comes. Because he goes to punch it, too. The video ended before he punched it, like he was going to punch it.
But it looked like he was going to pound it, right, Pete?
Well, he came in on the approach and he kind of didn't have a plan.
There he comes. He falls.
Okay.
But watch when he comes back to punch it.
Yeah. Big high kick. This girl over here, this girl's kicking the shit out of
She's
the statue.
front kicking that fucking...
Okay. Here he comes. Wait till you see this massive punch, dude.
This is really bad. He steps on it. Watch this.
Kick it. And then, actually, no, I'm just kicking it again.
He goes to punch it.
I love the way he puts his hand through his hair afterwards.
Yeah,
Like he made
he's
a difference.
tired.
Look, he's winded.
God damn.
He's winded. He's so tired of stopping racism.
He's tired from stopping racism and kicking statues.
Yeah. Ending racism forever has just worn him out.
That's it.
I love that it's only got 1,800 views, too. This video should have millions
It should be.
and
It's
millions
all
of
everyone
views.
should be watching.
It really is.
First thing.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, last night the news should have been like, yeah, we covered the press conference, give it 5 minutes. That was a little outrageous, huh? Let's get back to this fat guy in the blue shirt and just play this over and over again.
So hopefully he's charged with a felony and goes to jail for a couple years.
Do you think he's equipped for jail?
No, I don't.
Let me ask you this. Based on what you've seen, his kicking of the statue, when he decided to pull the statue down, do you think that he is so obsessed with his cause that he thinks it's worth going to jail for.
No, I don't.
No.
And I think what would happen is in jail, he'd be very hurt when they took his desserts because he's chubby, and he would really rue the day he got that hairdo because it's perfect for a larger gentleman to lock his fingers in and hold his head steady.
It really is. Yeah,
That's a great hairdo to lock your
it's like
fingers.
Velcro for the fingers. So hooking right in there. He only punched it the second time because that hot chick was punching it like crazy, so he thought he'd look good in front of her.
No, he didn't punch, he put his little fat hand over it and then
Tried
just
to.
stopped and then ran his hand through his hair like, oh, fuck.
So now he's not going to get laid by that hot girl who's kicking the shit out of the trophy. And he's white, right? So in jail, a lot of times, gangs are split up by ethnicities, I hear, based on, whatever, fictional retellings. How do you think
all the white people are hitting it with everything they have, and the one black guy with his guitar just gave it a light love
That
tap.
was the lamest
He's like,
black guy ever. He just kind of came over,
he's-
strummed it.
He's the only smart one. He's like, it's what this represents, dummies. The harder you kick it, you don't make your point more.
You're hurting your foot.
It's already down, you know? The one guy's giving it the finger. What do you think, the statue's going to look up at you offended? I mean,
How do you think?
Fuck you, racism.
How do you think the white nationalists in jail are going to take to this kid?
I don't know how well he'll have to. He better lie. What happened? I fought some punk who knocked a statue over. Oh, all right.
Until the one guy who's got library access finds the YouTube video in jail. Hey, isn't this the new? Didn't he tell us that he's going to shave his head and everything? Fake Nazi tattoos.
He shaved his head probably just to avoid them from locking them fingers in.
Oh yeah,
Giving that throat a beating.
give him less to hold on to.
Less to hold on to.
Without a doubt, man.
yeah. That human Velcro is about right.
So fuck him.
About right.
That little fat kid is in big trouble.
Oh, it's so funny because he didn't have to be. He just decided to insert himself into it.
Yeah.
Just non-committally insert himself into this whole thing.
That's what I would do.
Well, it's a felony charge, so that one kick, now you're going to be pumping gas the rest of your life because that's got to be on your resume, and it makes it difficult to get a regular job. No offense to anyone pumping gas. I'm just saying you're limiting your options because of one lame kick for a hot chick that didn't even see you do the kick.
His parents are probably paying for him to go to college. Like, he's probably got a nice life that he could be having, but because he needed to impress the hot chick with a really uncoordinated kick, he's going to end up. You're right. He can't get a job after you've got a.
He wanted to be a part of it. He wanted to be a part of the whole thing.
Just he wanted to be one of the guys that ended racism forever.
The woman has been charged.
Which woman is it? Is it the woman?
The black woman who climbed up.
Yeah.
Some of the other people will be, if they can name them, that actually pulled it.
Well, we have the fat guy in a blue shirt on Twitter. So they've got his Twitter account. He shouldn't have been so descriptive. Fat guy in a blue shirt.
And I don't mean to, spoil any surprises.
Yeah.
But he said that he's one of the special guests tonight at your live event.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
All right. Well, that's going to be a surprise to me too.
He shall. Hopefully, he'll wear the same blue shirt.
I'm sure he will. He loves that blue shirt.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I'll. You know what I'll do? I'll put up a statue of one of the guys and have him like a bad guy wrestler. I'll put up a statue and I'll be like, "Oh man, there's a villainous statue here. Who's going to help us? Everything it represents is besmirching this event." And then he'll just waddle out on stage, and I'll get a whole bunch of other people to tip it over. But he'll just grab the rope as it's tipping over and be like, "Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
We did it."
Wait, can you slow down? What year was that dedicated? Sorry. That statue. Because people are acting like it's a...
Like it's what?
Like it's a piece of history. I don't know how old this... Right? Just try to... Oh, 1924. That's a 100-year-old statue.
Yeah. Wow.
But it was long after, by the way, the Civil War.
Right.
Long after. That was not a Civil War relic. It was just a statue dedicated and...
Right. It's supposed to symbolize...
In a much different time. It was a statue that was dedicated in a much different time in America, but it wasn't when the fucking...
By the
Yeah, I mean, even
20s.
the Civil War itself, I mean, it was fought for things aside from freeing slavery.
That was
and
part of it,
slavery.
yeah.
It
That
was
was
part
all
of
of
it,
it.
of course. And, at the end of the day, these are still American people that were in a war that died. So, I just think it's a little misdirected by ripping down a statue sometimes.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. I don't mind seeing them come down because I don't give a fuck about the Dixie or Confederacy.
Of course. But, I mean, there's other ways to make your point, I think, than, ripping down statue. What are we doing here, It
is a little bit like they compared it to ISIS, which was a little harsh. I mean, these are just misguided fucking teenagers. They're not, they're not beheading people.
Look who's pulling over the statues. It's the fat kids in blue shirts of the world. right? It's that guy over and over again.
Why don't they tent up again? What happened to those whole occupy this and occupy that, man?
I don't know.
Well,
Why did they stop it?
They were throwing them out for a while.
Tent up. I walked through that when they had it in New York City.
Yeah.
I went down there one day. It was trippy, man. I just locked up my bike and I walked through the middle of it, and they were like... They had one area where they just had big piles of tobacco and two guys that were constantly rolling tobacco for anyone there. If you want a cigarette, and then one girl stands up, guys, over in the blah, blah, blah area, we're having a lecture right now.
A lecture?
And I'm in there, and I got a little relaxed before I went in, and I just wanted to experience it. And I'm like, oh, these people are whack. This isn't even about a cause. They think they're going to fucking live here forever. They think this is like their version of the beach with Leonardo DiCaprio right here in the city. Like, they were delusional.
They're creating their own society.
Yeah, it was like they had an area literally with supplies. If you want food, guys, the supply area, we got more cans of SpaghettiOs and stuff. Like, what the fuck, you guys got a little town here?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a protest. So
this is not going to last.
Yeah. So, I mean, half the time, these things are just gatherings, I feel, for these people to get together. It's like camping. Let's go rip down a statue in Charlotte.
Yeah. They said that the girl that got arrested has a GoFundMe page.
Does she? For her legal fees?
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, didn't they just stop the GoFundMes for some of the white nationalists that were trying to raise money?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Did they?
Well, I heard that GoFundMe and GoDaddy were the two spots that were fighting against it digitally. You know what I mean? That we're taking things away from them. So I don't know if you're tearing down statues, I don't know if doesn't that also make you a vandal?
I guess so. I mean,
You're just a fat kid with a blue shirt at the end of the day.
I don't care that much about it. He really is like Mosh Boy, though.
At fat blue shirt guy on Twitter.
How does he only have 26 followers? This kid's a legend.
Is that a mustache?
Yeah, it's not a good one. It's not a good mustache.
It's the attempt alone, I respect.
At first, I thought that there was a parody account because of the profile, but the profile says my kick is a parody. So not the Twitter account.
He literally, that is the Mosh Girl pose.
It is perfect. Perfect. He's got a lot of raise on that leg though. His knee is chest high.
You want to pick me last in gym class? There you go, statue. There's a lot of things behind that other than just the Civil War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to be a little meme for a while?
I mean, we're gonna push it as
if
as
the asylum
far as we
has
can.
anything to say about
That's
it.
right. Right. If anybody thinks that if that meme is gonna escape,
come on, Nolan. Good marketing.
No, it's locked into the asylum. We are locked on that fat kid with a blue shirt.
Locked in, guys.
Right?
Pretty funny.
No, you've always been one of the best comedians I've known. I've always respected you beyond. I mean, I've learned one of the biggest pieces of advice you ever gave me is I was like, man, I can't write anything funny. And you go, that's good. That means you're getting sick of your old stuff because you're growing. You're about to reach a new level. And the rest of my life, whenever I'm in a slump, I always turn around by thinking of you and go, ooh, this is exciting. I'm going to come out the other end.
And now he
Whether
works on
it's true or not, but it makes you feel better about it.
And you always do.
And now he works on the asylum.
Yes, he does.
And he's got his own jingle.
That I'm actually proud of. That's so annoying. I'm proud of the jingle we have. We have less than a minute, by the way.
Ooh.
Travis tells me in my ear how much time we have left. Promoting everything. Sam's live event is tonight, 8 o'clock, Highline Ballroom. Special guest, Dan Soder. Try to get tickets in advance. You don't want to just show up and wonder if they're going to be available. Try to go there and get them. But if you happen to be in that area and you want to go.
Go.
Pete Corielli is PeteCorielli.net. And October 20th and 21st here in New York City at Gotham. Pete's a hilarious comedian. And we didn't even get to talk to you. Next time we see you, I want to talk to you about the Jim Brewer show and what happened with that. We didn't even get to that.
Yeah.
Go to JimNorton.com if you want my tour dates. A lot of them are going on sale tomorrow. What's today, Wednesday? Or they're on pre-sale now. I don't fucking even know what day it is anymore.
Just saying words.
Just go to JimNorton.com, and the Kneeling Room Only tour begins September 22nd in Seattle. And who do we have tomorrow?
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm happy to have you. I would love to have you back.
is coming in tomorrow.
Oh, Chris DiStefano, who's had problems getting a babysitter, but now he's here.
Yeah, unless he cancels again. Then
I know.
If he cancels this time, he's never coming back.
Yeah.